All right, this is Role Play Cafe, and Dell and I, my partner here in design and authorship of Dark Age of Man, we're here to watch our friends, Ivanmike1968. We're here to watch Ivan and Eloy, Jim and Jose finish their chronicles, their 4 or 5 sessions. I think 3B makes 4 sessions.
Yeah.
Of their foray into our game, and it has been fantastic. And we don't know anything about this. We were going to watch it live again last night when they went live, but unfortunately our schedules did not jive. So here we are at 5 p.m., 7 p.m. Dell's time, and we're going to watch it together. And we're going to do again. Neither one of us know anything about what went on. And we're going to respond to this live. We may be able to pause and talk or that kind of thing if we wanted to. But, we have to watch this separately. So we're going to try to queue up so I'm not way ahead of him or he's not way ahead of me. Anything you want to say, Del, before we begin this final watch?
Just that I'm looking forward to it. It's been like a month,
yeah.
How schedules get. But, it took all it could not to watch it today, but...
Yeah.
I'm glad we're finally here.
As I was telling Dell, I didn't even want to go into the Discord. I didn't want to read any comments they might have shared.
Yeah.
So
no spoilers.
Yeah. So here we go. I'll tell you. I'm about to click. Right now. I'm at literally 000.
Same here.
Okay. And we'll do this on 3. Right. I'll count down 1, 2, 3, and on 3 we'll click.
Yeah.
On 3.
Yeah. On 3.
1, 2, 3.
It's so late that Dell can't watch it all because,
he's an old man.
He's an old man.
He's an old man.
And it's also...
Look at that. They're already picking on you.
It's going to be a little bit too late, so I'm going to watch this tomorrow and do a thing.
Yes, we are. Here
tomorrow.
we are.
Yep, true to our words.
Which will be cool.
All right.
I hope they will be right. Oh, looks like we're live. Okay.
See,
I'm ready.
Vertical live streaming is here too. That's good. Good to know.
Vertical live streaming.
All right.
Do it on me.
Dun.
Is that like a?
I'm back.
That's like a horizontal.
Okay, good. So we're actually live. We are actually live. Okay, good. So here we are once again playing Dark Age of Man. There it is, Dark Age of Man. I got my signed copy.
Nice.
This
That'll
is
be worth
a
mint.
Oh, look at there. Yeah.
Ooh. One day.
That's very cool. It's session 3B because we didn't quite finish session 3. So it's a little odd to keep going, but or have things connected from the last session. But that's what we're doing because, we're, some of us are old and need to go to sleep and all that kind of stuff. And then there's the worst retiree ever. But this video isn't about that. So it's been a while since we played, probably almost like a month. Jason and Dell are not going to be able to watch live. They're going to watch tomorrow and then do a commentary video. So we'll see what they think of all this.
I can't wait. It's going to be great.
My old notes, look back at what happened last time, and watch the last maybe 20 minutes or so on double speed, which is entertaining.
Double speed.
So essentially,
that's kind of how I do everything. Double speed.
Here, last session.
Yeah.
So this last session, the beginning starts. There's a riot in Dredgewater because there's not a lot of food. Because the weevils in the flatland, because the bandits had been kind of waylaying merchants, so merchants are a little bit skittish about coming here. So things are kind of running out, And so if it's not a good crop, then it's not going to be that good. So people are kind of rioting. They got the sheriff a little bit upset. They wanted Lord Washburn and somebody to do something about it. You went to actual Dredge Town, to Lord Washburn's estate. You talked to him. You talked about several different possibilities and solutions. He said, whatever you do, it can't come back to me. Because you proposed several
plausible deniability.
That might be a little bit questionable.
As the Lord of Dredge County.
He said, you know what? I really love somebody to scout out Voudemont Mort's place. I'd like to get back at this bastard. And if you can kill him and get away with it, it doesn't come back to me.
And get away with it.
He's probably eating a lot better than everybody else is.
That's the key term, and get away with it.
Who knows? That maybe just because you couldn't polish up your crossbow enough. But Jarek Smith actually borrows a really nice silver cross that was at the chapel.
That's a nice way to put it.
Inside Dredgetown. He's going to give it back.
On loan from Lord. On loan from the Lord.
And so what else
Secret
happened?
in the way.
Then things really start happening. So you take a trip to the crossroads because your idea is first to see if you can divert traffic to Dredgewater rather than going to Mortville. On the way, you unfortunately encounter a giant spider, which almost kills you, but you manage to kill it. You're able to, Brother Dunstan is able to communicate, able to cast a spell asking the Fae for help in creating some kind of illusion so that merchants might, go accidentally to Dredgewater rather than going to Mortville. We only discovered it's called Mortville when we get there. And Wilford, of course it's called Mortville.
That's called...
However, if this works...
That's called naive narrator. You don't know what it's called until you know what it's called.
Because it required some kind of blood sacrifice, and they sacrificed one of their own.
That's the joy of it.
You only know this, Brother Dunstan, because one of them talked to you and said that you have to pay them back tenfold. And this will last for 1 moon. And
that was an epic moment. That was an amazing moment.
Creepy moment,
head
too.
south.
It was
fantastic.
Nice.
Yes, it was.
You actually see a merchant caravan go the wrong way. Looks like the illusion is working. Looks like they were kind of confused. So it looks like things are on the up and up. Things are working really great.
I have a feeling there's a whole lot of merchants in Howard Town.
Are able to hear a patrol of Mort's men on horseback and hide from them successfully. And you actually end up getting to Mortville itself. Seeing what the place looks like, the fact that people look like they're better fed, the crops are better, and you end up going to.
We need to put out a second.
And meeting your humble host.
We need to put out an adventure tome called The Adventures in Mortville.
You talked to him a little bit about the situation in the town, and it seems like you start to
Mayor of Mortville for a children's storybook.
Apply for employment with Voudemont Mort.
Gainful employment.
Not only that, but Jarek Smith had inquired about the state of the local parish, and it turns out there's a very small kirk in town, but a much bigger one, the proper one, inside Voudemont Mort's encampment, which is much, much bigger, a stronghold, really. And it turns out, and Merkel says, "Hey, look over there! Look at that tower part right there, and see that thing that looks like it might be a branch or something like that." And you realize that's a person, or what's less of a person, hanging upside down. You can see some
strange fruit.
And what have you. And apparently, Voudemont Mort got really mad at the last priest. So there's an opening.
An opening.
There's an opening, Smith.
I think Ivan likes doing this. Don't you? Do you think Ivan likes doing this?
So it seemed like as you got some.
I think he enjoys this.
We're eating some of the joint that was roasting there. That your plan might be to kind of take
dangling
the
that
night
carrot.
here,
Job
the
opening.
Green Dragon in, and then.
You don't get fired, you get eliminated.
And the next morning,
terminated, literally
terminated. Right?
Some of them
Mort doesn't fire you. He doesn't sack you. He terminates you.
Maybe Wilford would see if he could get an audience with Mort or whoever up there to see if he can gain some kind of employment. So it sounds like you guys are trying to get an in into the stronghold itself. Does that sound about right?
Mm-hmm. I think they're all having second
thoughts. Sure.
The problem is we're trying to get close to Mort, but we're in very hostile.
I don't know. Do I want to work for this guy?
We're in very hostile territory.
I have no idea.
We're screwed.
If we get close to him, how are we, doing the deed and getting out? So we're still sort of in the gathering
hands in the air
stage, I think.
Started running around like a chicken.
Is there anything you guys
headless one at that?
Before we just say you fall asleep and wake up the next morning.
Say your prayers. Smith's gonna be saying prayers double time.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Need Brother Dunstan to make a luck roll. And due to the nature of this luck roll, I really can't tell you the difference.
Northern's not a concern. I don't think so.
But I'm pretty lucky. I have a +1.
All right, yeah, that's.
You left the mint on his pillow. Okay.
But that's a total of 5, so not that lucky, I guess.
Not in this instance.
Oh dear. Okay.
5.
Look at Ivan.
I know it. He's having fun.
I know he's like bubbling and churning in his mind.
During the night, that
He's a dangerous person
Wolford
to
is
sit in
sleeping
that
like
chair.
a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Jarek Smith, on the other hand, your dreams are plagued
He's a Wolford
by
sleeping like a baby.
imagining the murder of this priest. You're not quite sure how he was murdered, but you keep on getting flashes
Uh-oh.
of this man pleading for his life and being hung over the the side of the tower.
It's foreshadowing.
It sounds like he might have been alive. It's really kind of vivid, actually.
That's what you get for stealing a cross.
How
Cursed with nightmares of your fellow brethren being
in
murdered.
the meantime, Brother Dunstan, you just
That's what that priest got
dreaming
terminated
of the
for.
murder
That's
of
right.
this poor
Stealing a silver cross.
Still a wooden cross.
and all of a sudden, you guys are all in the same room, aren't you?
It'd have been
How are you?
flayed too if it was silver.
Yeah, and
He said they're in the same room.
Brother Dunstan, you wake up and just feel it's like this heavy feeling on your chest.
Indigestion. Eloy's been playing.
Mm-hmm.
He's been playing game after game. 2 hours sleep
I
a
open
night.
my eyes and look, see what's going on. Right, heavy feeling on my chest.
I thought you were just like in character, full in character.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
I am tired. As the week goes on, the energy levels fall.
Yeah, I can imagine.
For a moment there, I thought you said Jarek, but it's me. So, heavy feeling on my chest, like I opened my eyes, is something,
And you see, the room is really, really dark, but you feel almost like something is standing on your chest.
Jeez, man.
And the smell there's this kind of a smell, like a charnel, fetid smell.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Do I see anything?
His eyes are trying to adjust.
It's super, super dark, but you can kind of feel it. It's almost like a shadow.
You know what I'm thinking?
Tremendously heavy on you, but it's not really light either. It might be like 40, 50,
Right.
50 pounds of something standing on your
Right.
chest.
Succubus. Todd. Some of Todd's work is sitting on his chest.
I thrust my hand out and yell, incoherently as I try to muster power and drive this thing off my chest. So I'm going to try to shove it with magic, shove it off of me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Raw primal magic.
So I have a
It's interesting.
4.
Compel and push it off.
So
Just a
that is a 10.
10.
Ooh, okay. And as you try to shove it off, you were like with this, you kind of push it a little bit, or it seems like you're pushed a little bit, but then something lands right on your face.
Oh no!
And pushes it, into the pillow, and it feels almost like bones.
Jeez.
And the charnel smell is really, really strong.
Up in the nostrils.
And you are, what are you? Are you fatigued now? You've certainly taken.
I suppose, because if that failed, it is definitely a fatigue.
Uh-oh.
An explosion of magic and it fails.
Mm-hmm.
He rolled a 10 too.
And I need to give you one more luck roll.
He rolled a 10.
Yeah, and he failed. Yeah.
Holy cow.
So
Plus 1 is a 6.
Oh.
6 total.
He did say he was he screamed out, right?
Yes.
Okay, I think that would be enough to at least wake me,
Rouse
since I seem to have.
He thinks he screamed out. Something's sitting on your chest. You might not be.
And I'll start looking around for.
He's screaming out in his mind.
Calling out to Brother Dunstan.
No, he's screaming out.
Hopefully, you let me know if you need to roll something or if the ruckus wakes. Because Wolford of Northwich leads such a virtuous life compared to the two others. That's why he sleeps like a baby.
He's over there in a little bonnet,
leads such a virtuous life.
Yeah. So Wolford is still asleep at this moment. But what are you doing for light, Smith?
I'm reaching for.
Conscience.
I imagine we had a lantern in the room when we crashed for the night. Yeah, I'm lighting the lantern.
Okay.
And trying to, and calling out to Brother Dunstan. Are you there? What's wrong, my man?
Well, you can see what's wrong.
Oh, I can't.
As the lantern starts to slowly glow,
no!
You see this skeletal figure on top of Brother Dunstan with its hand like almost on his face.
All right.
And
in the same motion, I will shout at Mr. Wilfred. Hey, up, dead things.
Hey, I'm getting anxiety.
You know, in the same motion. Ooh, you know what would be fun? I'm going to swing that lantern at it.
Oh, nice.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Dunstan's under it, so that lantern could light Dunstan
That
on
bed is
fire.
made out of hay. I know.
Fire. So
Poor Dunstan's going to be burned up by his.
Exactly.
What is that?
It's like that Burning Beds movie from the 70s.
What's that old saying? The road to good. What is it? The road to
Good intentions.
the road to ruin is paved by good intentions.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just a body roll, basically.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's still a 6.
Oil and flammable tinder, yeah.
Brother Dunstan's not looking very happy about this.
Oh, jeez.
Exactly.
Look at Eloy. It's like,
Tired.
you're throwing a freaking lantern.
Go ahead. What'd you do?
I rolled a 6.
Oh, you rolled a 6.
Yeah. Well, I rolled a 4, and I have my multiplier.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear it. Okay.
But thanks.
Thanks
a lot.
You go wide. And the oil like hits the bed.
Oh,
And Duncan, you don't get hurt, but the bed is on fire.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yep.
And the thing jumps back, and you get a really good look at it. Now there's a lot more light in the room.
I'm thinking Wolfred
And
snores.
look at it, and
Look at Jim.
It's this skeletal creature.
Oh, you've seen their reactions.
Quite human. It looks a little bit too short to be a person.
Right.
But it's got like what looks like the remains of like vestments on it.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
It's got horrible. It's got horrible. Like some of its teeth are just horribly long. Not all of them, but I mean, and it's not completely devoid of flesh.
Oh.
But it looks as though it's a body that's been picked at by birds and shriveled and burned by the sun.
Like it's been hanged somewhere, right?
It's possible. Yes.
Yeah. So do I wake with the burning bed and the screams?
We call this the carrion dead.
Oh yeah.
That's what this would be called in
So
Dark
I wake
Command,
up,
the
I'm
carrion
asleep.
dead.
How could you sleep when the bed is burning?
Midnight, burning the midnight
I
oil.
have to sleep. I'm shocked. So instead of of my sword, I reach for the closest thing next to my bed, which is the chamber pot. And I'm gonna.
Oh, now
the skeleton with the
My God,
chamber pot.
oil's been thrown on him, and now the chamber pot.
Yep, he's getting showered.
Which I have a feeling Wolfred's the one that filled up in the middle of the night.
Nice.
Total 16, but it's a nice
The Austin Powers
back.
fill
With
up.
a chamber pot.
With a chamber pot.
What'd he roll, a 16?
This is a critical hit.
2 wounds to the thing.
Nice.
Okay, great.
You can deep shit now, man.
Literally.
It's in deep shit now. Yeah. That's the truth.
Boom. So
Poor Dunstan.
Brother Dunstan, your bed's on fire. You've been a little splattered by stuff, but you've whacked.
What a hell of a way to wake up.
Oh,
with the
man.
chamber, boom, whacks against it, and this thing turns. looks
Now
at
covered in
Dunstan
Wolfred's
just
last
really
night's
dead
excrement.
red eyes, and this look of absolute. malice.
Wolfred's sleeping like a baby because he was on the chamber pot all night.
All right.
How was it hanging from the tower? Did you see?
Oh,
Was it
shit.
a chain? Was it a rope?
You couldn't really see; it was really, really far away.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, now, in this much light, you can see also that its throat has been cut.
Slop bucket.
Here, it's just
Oh, jeez.
really reminiscent of something.
Beat base.
Oh, jeez. You know what I'm thinking?
Can't put our finger on it, huh?
And
Reminiscent of
its
something.
ears are just a little bit. What's left of its ears are just a little pointed. It's just the
Oh,
oddest
man.
thing.
You know, that's
And it
to
attacks
revisit.
Brother Dunstan.
He doesn't like you.
No, he doesn't.
His
Must
hand's
be-
going right for your throat.
Uh-oh.
You know what it is, right?
The Fae, maybe? Remnants of the Fae?
This may be my first.
This is what he gets for not filling the contract that Faye asked for.
4 years of playing D&D.
Yes.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I try to roll off the bed and grab the sheet as I roll off, right? Because I'm getting off the bed. And as I stand, I sort of grab the sheet and thrust it toward him. And I say, Espíritus del aire. Restrinjan sus movimientos. And so I'm trying to animate the bed sheet to see if I can sort of wrap it around the thing and sort of constrain it.
Jeez.
Okay.
So that's my bright idea.
Nice.
Good idea.
Using it like
We'll see how
a
it works.
cloak of
So
restraint.
after the chamber pot hit and seeing this thing come after Brother Dunstan, I'm going to clutch my silver cross.
The death
And
shroud.
I am going to start praying for Brother Dunstan.
Here we go. This is where we get a bonus,
my-
maybe,
my
a
Lord and
bonus
Savior to protect
slapped
me
on
from
Dunstan.
what is clearly evil. Coming back,
It's an excellent
well, he may
cross.
deserve it for his previous transgressions. I'm going to turn the other cheek.
He had to put that in there in fine print.
Pray for him.
Why don't you roll your roll too? You know, let's see what
Nah.
happens.
Maybe I deserve it.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Scheider.
Oh,
At least
God.
it's not a critical fail.
That is
Oh,
a total
dear.
of 6. Yes.
Yeah, that's bad.
13.
I can imagine Dunstan's like a tarred and feathered and crap and
So the sheet, you know,
Dunstan's
like
got
geez.
stuff stuck to him, you know?
Go around this creature, and it's able to like push it away and start to choke you, and like you take you're now you're now
Jeez, he's
battered,
getting
Battered. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
and it looks it's like really about to like dig in,
Oh, no.
and as Jarek Smith is praying for your soul with a cross, like the head of this thing whips around.
Uh-oh.
Looks, dead at Jarek. Like you can see its eyes, like just constrict.
Right.
What pupils are left at the cross, and it lets out this shriek, lets go of Dunstan, and flies out the window.
Ooh.
Nice.
Nice.
Jeez.
Holy cow.
What the hell was that?
Yes, Brother Dunstan. What the hell was that?
Wait. This damn bed is on fire. We gotta.
Yeah, I was going to say, the bed's burning, isn't it?
Here, grab the chamber pot.
Fill it up. Everybody fill
Oh,
it up.
wait.
Wait a minute, there's no rule for putting the bed out.
Yeah, so
That's right.
basically, probably the best.
Quick.
The best
There's no rules. to
Quick,
that.
Dell, make a
all,
note for
the
edition
rule-
2, rules for putting out the bed.
No, you can put the bed out.
Scribble that down. We have to get that in the next edition.
If same old
Smother
thing
it.
you're watching, what do I do?
Putting out bed fires.
So I'm sitting down on the floor trying to gather my breath. And,
There's a procedure for that. Yeah.
it
There's
seems
not
to
a
be
lot of
the
rules in this
remains of
book.
The old priest who was hanged
Not a
from the
lot.
keep.
Why was he trying to join you in your warm bed?
I have no idea what I
Your
did
warm bed.
to draw its ire.
Brother
Uh-oh.
Dunstan,
Oh, he's gonna get
you
chastised.
have been away from the teachings long enough. I feel that there may be some reasoning that I could come up with, my friend.
A bit
Yeah.
more than a pillow fight occurred there.
That's right.
That being said, you are still one of God's children, and still do my best to protect you. But my man, you've
I made
got plenty of
bargains.
reason.
I've made bargains with the Fae. I made no truck with the dead.
You should strive to lead a virtuous life like me, shouldn't you, Paulo?
As you draw a bottle of something.
Right. As he begins to fill up the chamber pot again, right? He says as he
we'll go with
empties
that
his
at least
bladder
once
into the
a week.
chamber
So,
pot for
yes.
the third
Yeah,
time tonight.
in with the good, out with the
Oh,
bad.
oh,
Yeah.
God. Begrudgingly.
Jeez.
Wow. We're 25 minutes in.
Dunstan, this is your,
and Dunstan has been covered in crap, set on fire, and almost choked to death by the undead.
The previous priest of this.
And Wolfred's just waking up.
Being of any fey nature.
What happened?
What happened?
So why would this priest come back? Because it was shorter, right? It was shorter in stature.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was short.
Was it human height?
Yeah, I mean, like, you didn't see, I mean, you didn't have a ruler to measure, gosh, that guy looks like he's 6 feet tall.
Well, but I mean, he was on top of.
But it did seem like a very short, hunched person.
Okay.
Yeah, but definitely human height, maybe shorter range of human height.
Okay.
Maybe 5 feet, maybe 4'10". You know, it's hard to say exactly.
Well, unless it's some sort of fey creature in disguise, but I struck a bargain. I have a month to fulfill my end of the bargain.
Yeah, but this is literal
See
time.
why this thing
Last time they played was
should
over a
come
month ago.
demanding anything of me.
Payment is due.
Certainly bonier than your other friends.
Right.
I have a month. Oh, shit.
Fair.
You had a month.
Still,
You had a month
what
a month
manner
ago.
of a curse
As the
the slaying
landlord
of a
says. You had a
priest
month ago.
this manor has
Yeah.
conjured up.
I wonder if the reason he was hung was because he started venturing from the cloth and more towards the forest and the darker essence of the world, Brother Dunstan.
Don't you think he was probably killed because he displeased this Mort fella?
That would be my original. That was my original thought, but this kind of regeneration.
So pause yours here, Dell, with me.
Pseudo existence.
Okay.
Almost.
Right now?
Yep. So this is part of the naive narrator, right? Whether they are declaring or in control of the actual descriptive narrative, or as players think this stuff into existence, like circumstantial evidence, it could be legitimate because, or more legitimate even, because the narrator shouldn't actually know maybe where this creature came from, what this creature's about, right? So his take on it could be as valid as Jose's take or Eloy's take or even our presenter's take, right? So this is one of the things that's so important about naive narrator. Don't know, right? And as the players explore it, investigate it, speak it into existence, it can become as valid and it become meaningful. Therefore, the players aren't chasing phantoms, and the presenter gets the thing that they can now use in context, right? And this is one of the things that's so hard to explain in the book, so hard to explain in, right? He's not purposely creating his own space. He's speculating, but that speculation can inform the narrator.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This is something that really is key to why it's a shared experience, and I call it a handshake.
Yeah.
In that, like, what Ivan had said in one of his videos, like the random seeds presenting things that he wouldn't normally probably conceive of himself, and that anybody who's a GM might fall into a pattern of repeating things that they're experientially, given to repeat.
Yep.
This in the same way that the seeds do, you can gather, because when the players lead, it's a player-led investigation.
Correct.
Investigate, and they're involved. They're engaged because they think that it's going in certain ways. And
correct.
The viability and validity of what they're thinking can have weight to it when considered rationally. And that balance between the players and the presenter and it makes sense, and then you roll to find out. The dice will determine if something's real, but it's a shared responsibility. So you can't contrive something for the players more so than work with them toward finding out what is ultimately happening. And so you have to stay naive, otherwise you sabotage yourself and the players. You step on their agency. And if you start directing them along a certain path, so it really works counter to what you're trying to achieve.
Exactly. And if he says something during this speculation that would spark Ivan to say, "Oh yeah, let's make a mind check on that, and let's see if you draw up an actual real conclusion." And he could ask for a mind check or a spirit check. And if he succeeds, he can say, "Yeah, you realize that you know of this practice among the church." But Ivan doesn't know it until he speculates on it. But then we prove it with a successful spirit check or luck check, right?
Yes, or whatever.
And then it becomes true for everybody. But Ivan is still naive. But now he actually has a little truth. So does the group, right?
Yeah, and it reinforces his naivete, and to stay in that. And he gets fed this information.
Yeah.
But it's just as pertinent that the players will have agency to follow the truth where it will lead.
We don't want,
and it's so much information that gives, and it's so palatable to the presenter. Like when I played for you, you going, "Oh my God, they're thinking of all kinds of stuff that I wouldn't even thought of."
Yeah.
And directions and let's see if this is real.
Right.
So really, for you to back up as a presenter,
and
not think in strict GM terms of I got responsibility of this. You're supposed to be as naive, and in awe, and with your eyes open and going, "I didn't see that."
We don't want
nothing's contrived.
That's right, exactly. We don't want the GM in contrivance, and we don't want the players in contrivance. We want the players presented with something, as Ivan did. He's presented them with a situation, and they're all now thinking, "What is this? Where did this come from? What's going on here, Eloy?" Ivan doesn't know, and the players aren't trying to make sense of it. Well, their making sense of it can become the truth, either manifested through what they choose to investigate. They choose to believe it themselves and hunt for it or go after that. Ivan's like, "Well, okay, that's as valid as what isn't true." Or he could say literally to Jim, "Father, let's make a spirit check to see if you can recall that this is indeed a type of creature." Or or Dunstan. He can hand it over to Dunstan, and Dunstan can say, "Yeah, I think I might know, but we can call for a luck check or mind check." The point is, the GM should be in reaction mode in this game instead of lead mode, and the players should feel free to not contrive a story, but that their speculation can become validated or can become valid.
Yeah, kind of like the impetus of what they're trying to discover. Right. Yeah, and this is that role reversal, or at least in a lot of aspects shared, and where there's more of a balance between it, and everybody at the table is discovering what is going on.
Correct, and it is indeed.
Across the table do it,
and it is indeed role reversal. The players, as Ivan even said in his review of our game, it is more player directed than GM directed. Right. Okay, so we'll count down and get our live stream back on sync, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, so on three. 1, 2, 3.
Purgatory type situation for that soul. Why would it come back? Why would it come in this form? We saw the bones hanging.
I don't know. But I'm glad you managed to drive it out, Father. Perhaps you should say a blessing over this dwelling so that this spirit might not return, at least until we can get some rest.
Indeed.
Aye.
And I will say a quick prayer, touching myself across, and in an attempt to bless the dwelling away from the undead.
Consecrate the ground right about them.
As you begin to pray, you hear shouts from outside.
Oh, shit.
Right from out from the same direction.
It may have left the room, but it didn't leave the entire... It left the room, but did not leave Mortville.
Look at him stop and go with
What is the commotion? Can you see? I'm washing my neck with some water.
I'm washing my neck. You're gonna have to
Should
wash
you
a
look
lot
out
more.
the
I think
window,
you're
I
covered.
know.
the adjacent
You're covered in
building is actually
Wolford.
on fire.
Scrubbing it.
Which building? The adjacent building?
This
Or
time
just
is
the...
giving a
The
thorough
adjacent
scrub down.
Oh, no.
We must go help.
Yes. Uncontrolled fire could take down the whole town.
Oh no.
So I step out. We open the door and go down and say, wake!
Oh no.
The next building is on fire.
Oh no.
Quickly.
Dang.
Uh-oh, fire.
And I mean, there's a couple other people. It looks like
It's a
they
shite
were
storm.
Oh,
Merkel,
shite.
was is running around at this point. What?
This,
Oh, the granary?
I have a feeling this is an
Oh,
epic
granary.
RSC.
You realize it's like some kind of grain storage.
I think this may be an epic
building
RSC
right next to
here.
there. And so the flour dust in particular seems to be like burning like mad.
Oh.
We must make a fire brigade. Bring buckets.
Bring chamber pots.
So a group of people assemble relatively quickly, and within an hour or two, you're able to put out the fire.
Okay.
It looks like it just started. But as people are like putting it out, it seems to be the consensus from the people there seems to be it might have started on the second floor. It really looks like it started very close to where your window was.
Uh-oh.
Almost if something that might have had some fire on it.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like a
Pure
lantern
coincidence, I'm sure.
that was thrown.
But the must have
an
conjecture
escaping
from the various
fake
people.
creature.
How did that happen?
They may put
happens.
Jarek on trial
The
for
vital question
being
here
an
is
arson.
how singed are my clothes?
Well, you were helping put out the fire.
That's true. Just true.
Yeah, a little singed, a little smelly,
He's on
So-
charge.
But this is the Dark Ages. If you're not covered in shit and mud, then people would wonder, who the hell are you?
Maybe not the best sleep. Maybe Wolford probably had.
I mean, it is the Dark Ages.
Point where he was so rudely
I know.
away
You
from-
bathe once a month, right? If
What am I
that,
gonna do
right?
with the two of you?
What is he saying, Mike Python? He must be a king.
Pray for us,
He's
Mr. Wolford.
like,
I
oh,
will.
jeez.
Oh, true to form, or true to what Merkel
jeez.
said.
it's true.
Not very long after that a group of Mort's scars end up showing up.
Uh-oh. That's right.
Looks like they're there to buy, grab some eggs.
A
grab some
little
stuff.
I mean,
preview.
when we say Dark Age, we mean Dark Age, man.
Hopefully nobody wants biscuits.
Not Dark Ages like now when people go to Walmart in their pajamas. That's a different
Sure.
Dark Ages.
I saunter over to
We're in a different Dark Ages now when people go shopping in their pajamas
Good morning.
Crocs and
or their yoga pants.
My name is Wolford of Northwich. I'm
in
hoping
their
that,
brassieres.
Your commanders are hiring men at arms.
It's a different
None of
Dark
those.
Ages today.
He looks you up and down. Looks over at the other two. Just you, right?
Yeah, of course, just me. These two are here just to pray for my soul. I give them a lot of work.
He gives him work. It takes two.
I like you. Yeah, we might be able to use some
Just
more men at
job
arms.
security there, buddy.
Where are you from?
I'm from Northwich. I left because after fighting in the shield wall, my king proved to be thankless. So I'm looking for a better lord to serve. I hear that here in the south, men at arms are better treated, and I see that you all have good armor and weapons. So I count for something.
It's true.
Full bellies.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I was just saying a quick prayer. I've noticed I've not seen any men of the cloth around. What may have happened there? It's not usual for an establishment or a gathering of people. What the am I trying to say? A village like this to not have
Services?
of the cloth, especially.
Oh, they had one. Flanagan really, they really got
a man of the cloth.
They haven't had one for about a month now.
What did
Dude.
he do?
Don't ask. Don't ask. You don't want to know.
I'm not sure.
No? No rumor of, and no request for a new man of the cloth.
He borrowed a wooden cross.
No, I didn't put out an advertisement. Now, did
That's where, when he says, no, we haven't had one for a month, that's when I say, is Jarek, well, I'm the new one. I've been sent here to become your new. I don't apply for the job. I tell them that's what I'm doing
Like all
here, right?
children of God, I go where I am.
And then we make a luck check to see if they buy it.
Secret lies. He's scrupulous. Priest.
Yeah, he's too honest.
What
Jarek's playing it too straight. He's too damn honest.
Scroll. Yeah.
Prestige.
Except for stealing that cross.
I'm sorry, that's a 1?
Oh my gosh. Dude.
Natural
Oh,
1.
critical failure.
Critical failure.
Nothing puts a small
Brother
out of
Dunstan's
space faster.
robes burst into flames again, right? Smoldering.
Take 2 injuries now.
A smoldering. What's wrong with you? You smoke there, Dunstan.
Where I'm needed.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
He didn't get reported.
I don't know about that. You know, we'll bring you, but maybe for comedy.
Oh,
A time to see more people and touch more hearts is all I need. I thank you, sir.
All right. Mr. Warflirt of Northwich. You can come with us, see if you can prove yourself.
Well,
They can do a little sparring.
sounds like a good way to spend the morning.
mm-hmm. Nice.
All right.
So,
Brother Dunstan, are you joining them?
I suppose I should join the father. Just, looking as a
yeah, comedy team. The duo. He'd be the straight
former
man.
monk. I suppose I should join
I says, yeah, you can be
the
his
father as his acolyte. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Pretend to be Jarek's
Alrighty.
acolyte.
Acolyte.
So these fellows end up taking you back to
Alkalite, however
Mort's
you say it.
stronghold. You can see as you enter the stronghold. There's a gate. It's pretty strong. Pretty big oak. As Wolford goes in, you can see it's fairly well guarded. It'd be really difficult to just kind of breach this on a full-on frontal assault. The walls themselves are the ones that would be hard to scale stealthily. They have a lot of areas where there's guards, so it'd be really tough to actually approach this place and not lose a lot of men. Not a place you can sneak into very easily. However,
So now we set the boundaries
one thing that
of
catches
some
your
options,
eye,
right?
what catches your nose really, is you can smell at one point, where it looks like the latrines sort of empty out, from the stronghold, and it occurs to you, for a person might be able to
I
fit
didn't
through
even
there.
say that.
It wouldn't be pleasant, but you might be able to sneak into the stronghold that way if you had a really strong stomach, and if they weren't aware that was a potential means of entrance.
There you go.
Are the remains of the priest still hanging from the tower?
You don't see any.
Ooh.
You don't see it.
You don't see any, no.
That's concerning.
Yeah.
And they bring Wolford, they bring all of you into this little courtyard afterwards. It's all right. We've got this fella here that wants to join the guards. Seems to be a stalwart fella. Well, let's see how you can actually handle a blade. And he pulls out a couple of wooden practice swords.
Right.
Breaking out the dice.
And Hugo, give him a thrashing. And this rather large man
Jarek just fainted.
takes a bigger wooden practice sword than you have.
A two-handed,
takes a
a
swing
two-handed
right at you.
practice sword versus a little dagger, practice dagger.
Well, let's get started. So combat, but without the benefit of my quality sword. And I rolled a total of 14.
Ooh, nice.
Grief.
10 plus 4.
That's that +4 body, baby. That's what it's for.
Well, he's unhappy with the wrapping you've given him, and he gets really mad.
All right,
And taking another swing right at you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna. My plan right now is to fight defensively, right? To show my skills, so I'll mostly be parrying and riposting when he charges in.
Every time he swings, I clap him on the kneecap with a wooden sword, right?
Oh,
you clap him where it hurts, right?
So
on the shin bone,
check.
the kneecap.
Yeah.
Just to hurt him. You just clap him on the top of the head with it, you know.
Just to make it sting.
Yeah, just to make it hurt like hell. Yeah.
Had his stat right there. Okay, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Once again, you kind of give him a rap. Maybe not quite as good. But he's hopping mad at this point.
Come on. They certainly grow you large in these swamps. But can you actually fight?
Oh, shit.
And he's, you can tell every time
they grow you large in these swamps.
He's lunging at you.
He's hopping mad, yeah.
With his shoulder and fist and one, and he really wants to hurt you at this point.
That's a total of 15.
Nice.
It's not an actual swamp. It's 15.
So he's flat on his back, and the other fellows are laughing their
Flat on
asses
his
off.
back.
I'm sure he loves me now. You certainly are brave and strong, my friend, and I offer him a hand up.
Nice.
He pushes himself up, And the other
He
guys
secured
are
his
laughing
position there.
Right.
at him, and he tosses his practice sword at one of the guys, and they're clearly they think this is quite entertaining.
Oh, yeah. Best entertainment they've had in a while, probably.
And you hear from above you this slow clap. And it's like a muffled sound of gloves of leather, or hands of leather gloves.
It's Jack Palance.
I look up at the sword.
Jack Palance from Hawk the Slayer.
There's
Yeah.
a man dressed all in black, and he's got a greasy black mustache and beard.
Gosh.
Guys, I think this may be the bad guy.
And this kind of the hair's not black; it's kind of like whitish streaked, kind of all over the place. And he's got a scar on one side of his face. That was very impressive.
Uh-oh.
Thank you, my lord.
But how are you with real steel?
Ah, there we go. There was the
Like I
question.
said, I have fought in the shield wall against the Viking raiders. I guess the Northland raiders.
Oh. Some smelling salts brought him
You're
back.
suggesting we use
Jarek
them
is back.
for
He had not the
practice?
stomach to
Yeah.
watch two men fight with wooden swords. He had to turn his back on the.
I think he fainted. That's what he-
I say we make a wager. Make this interesting. And he's taking his gloves off
Oh,
now
crap.
Uh-oh.
and motions to a fellow. And the guy's handing him a sword.
Uh-oh.
Dragging his knife.
Oh, jeez. Jose looks a little concerned.
He wants it. He
Seems
wants
as
to
this
see.
priest friend of yours really irritated my man Arthur.
Uh-oh.
Let's say we have a little sparring match. If I win, the life of your priest is forfeit.
Oh, playing for the life of Jarek?
What price would you want?
Well, rather than just being hired as a common guard, make me at least a sergeant.
You have balls.
They call it.
So the
Put him on
priest's
more.
life is worth a sergeant's job.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's pretty
what,
good.
What did he put in his breakfast that morning? Strolls down the stairs.
So I look at the nearest guy. This is the Lord of the castle.
That's Mort, all right. I can't believe he's going to fight you.
Oh, no. So Mort wants to fight.
Yeah.
My God of the saints.
It can't be that easy, right?
You have
caught
the
his
grace
eye.
to console.
It can't be that easy
Mort,
to be one-on-one with Lord Mort, right? Right?
In trouble.
They're in dismay.
I'll elbow Brother Dunstan. Huh. This is a win-win. My soul belongs to God.
That's great.
That's the way to look at it.
And in that moment, I will start to pray for.
That's a spirit check. The minute he says that, it's like, give me a spirit check, right, on that.
Okay,
I'm confident. My soul belongs to God. Roll that spirit check, baby.
I am praying for his strength.
He's praying for it.
I'm playing for my ass
any
because he's fighting
obstacles
for
that
it.
the Lord puts in front of him.
Okay.
Uh-oh. That's a mischievous grin.
15.
Oh!
What the hell?
Nice.
With
Nat
a
12.
Natural 12.
That's
Dang,
nice.
dude, that's
Okay.
yeah.
All right. That's pretty badass. And you feel like the power of the Lord.
And that's when Wolfred realizes
Works
he
through me.
has a tell. He limps just slightly from
Alrighty,
the right
Wolfred.
side.
Of Northwich.
Right? Wolfred he exposes through
Nothing to
the
do with
prayer
the
of
fact that I'm
God
ignorant because of
that
the,
Mort
you know,
has a
because of
weakness.
Yeah, this is
Sure.
Right?
This is completely selfless.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be
Completely
nice with
selfless.
it.
That's what I was thinking.
All right, so
Jarek's never
I guess
prayed
I
so hard
draw
in his
my
life,
sword,
but for his own life.
and I'm actually gonna let
He's
him
doubling
have
down.
the first move.
Better need to come.
I approach. You sure about this, my lord?
I'm going to enjoy
Oh,
this.
geez.
I'm going to enjoy this.
Oh, man. Let's see what happens here.
And as you get closer, you can almost smell. Boy, his breath smells a little bit like alcohol.
Oh, uh-oh.
What did he have for breakfast?
So he's
Well,
primed.
That's why they were asking that. That's awesome. All right, so I lift my sword in a salute and then get in a guard position.
Awesome.
And he finally lunges at you.
All right. Okay, first it's an 11 total.
Ooh.
11. Oh! And you get through his defenses.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
And the thrust gets in. You've drawn first blood.
Ooh.
It's little. And now he looks irritated. You can see, the rest of you can see that the men now are really looking kind of like, leading him, a little concerned. And we're kind of
Rubbernecking.
interested in seeing what's going to
Crazy.
happen.
Because everybody's focused on this
I knew
fight, I move
Brother Dust is
over
going to do something.
to a corner, right, of the courtyard, right? Not too far, but
A little subversive.
trying to stand unobtrusively so that if I need to work some magic, there'll be less eyes on me. I want to take advantage of everybody looking at the ring and not paying too much attention to the monk. And just
Alrighty.
stand there for now. Yeah.
Alrighty. So Mort once again comes in with a slash.
Uh-oh.
right, so the clash of steel. This time I roll. Holy shit, a 15.
Oh, nice.
Oh!
It's at +4, baby. And his weapon is a +2
And
or +1.
exactly how do you
right?
draw more blood?
Well, what I would try to do is knock the blade from his hand. Right?
Yep.
So as he comes in, lock, cross guards, and then push the blade free and elbow him in the face.
Oof. So the
That's
blade
it.
goes flying, you elbow in the face.
Yeah.
And you can hear like the gasp.
Crowd.
From-
yeah,
awesome.
in unison.
From
awesome.
the collective gasp from the other men.
It's exactly
And-
right? It's narrative, and it doesn't have
he's
to be always a
clearly
wound. It
really
doesn't have to
pissed
always
off
be
right
just
now.
you whittle
You
him
can
down.
see that the reason has
Right.
left his
Yeah, he did
face.
appropriately for the situation. Yeah.
The reason
He
is
didn't
left
prove
his
himself.
You
He
face.
don't have to
Kill.
take this any further. Your
And
men
he-
have seen your courage.
He handled it because the part of the problem is he
going
can't
after his
kill
own
him.
sword. He grabs the sword right out of the scabbard of one
Oh,
of the closest
jeez.
men, pulls it out,
He's pushing for it.
and
Yeah,
comes
he-
whipping right at you again.
if one wanted to kill this guy, this would be a great.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like, hey, you cut the head off the snake. It was in a fair fight, right?
Oh, I thought it was a 2, but damn my eyes, this is a 9, so it's a 14.
Nice.
Oh, what happens this time?
Well, so he's coming in swinging.
Angry.
So basically, I step back, parrying it, and when he takes the biggest swing, I sidestep and put my foot out to trip him.
A drunken Mort. He's toying with him now. Toying with him.
Smack him with the back of the blade as he gets past.
I'm trying for his men to see that I'm making it a point not to kill him.
Right. And he's a superior swordsman.
My
I mean,
here.
Yeah.
But you're also
pause it a second, Dale.
Right, but I'm not even thinking of that. I just if I kill this guy with my head.
3.
Okay. So this is another example, right, of we tell people make the character. You get to play what you say you are, right? Yes. Obviously, you'll be challenges. There'll be difficulty factors. You may fail, and Jose has talked about his character being a swordsman. He's talked about the quality of his character. Well, that's great. In some games, that matters. I mean, doesn't you say that, you believe that, you want it to mean something. It might be supported by the mechanics. It might be supported by the rules. Well, our game, here's an example of it's playing itself out, right? We know that body, and we know the quality of his weapon. Obviously, you can still roll a 1 or a 2 or a 3, etc. But we're seeing how when you are what you say you are, and then when we use that attribute to affect play, we generally are going to see success, which is going to continue to reinforce what you say you are. So when I say I'm a merchant with a high prestige or a good prestige and a high purse rating, I'm going to attempt to impact play through being a merchant, right, or a lord or a wizard, etc. So here's a prime example of the system completely supporting what he wants to project in this Chronicles, this campaign as a character, and it supports it, right? Now he could actually make these wounds where he's cutting him to shreds and is ultimately going to kill him, or he can do what he's doing. He's setting up a greater narrative, right? He's setting up something else by sparing his life ultimately, right?
Well, it's situational. Whenever he is like, if he would have said his character was more of a rambunctious hothead, it would be at odds, and he wouldn't be expressing his character authentically. Right. If he's playing him like he's playing now,
right?
But he has been playing this character to a certain degree in a certain way, and he's expressing it now.
Yep.
He's doing this in response to the situation.
Yes.
He knows the Lord is a little bit drunk, a little bit cocky.
Yeah.
Is playful, wants to show him up, in front of his men. But like, there's two things that they just said. Eloy just said it's a perfect opportunity to take him out, and then Jim just said, but you're also embarrassing him now.
Yes.
See, we don't know. It's a very tense situation that if you do this, how is his Lord going to respond?
Yeah.
If you don't kill him, if he's lost face in front of his men, everybody's around, or how is his men going to respond if you kill him? And that has to be turned on a roll. You're surrounded by his men, yet what are you going to do? You're not doing this stuff.
Right.
Like in secret and taking him out like an assassin. It's a very rough situation that he's in. He's got to handle it with tact.
He does. Yeah.
So you can't just murder hobo your way through this.
No, God no. Well, and
you got to navigate the situation.
And there's a third possibility. Yeah. Is Jose has too much honor to kill a inebriated man.
Yeah.
Right. This is unfair. I'd rather kill you when you're sober. Right. We don't know that Jose's character is thinking, I'm also not, again, part of expressing character is if this is an honorable swordsman, he's not going to kill an inebriated man, even if he's a bad guy, even if he's the worst guy, right? So I love that. We're seeing Jose with an opportunity to actually not only be character, but exhibit character, right? The quality of his character.
Yes, they're actually there to their benefit, obviously, like Lord Washington said. And if you can kill him, get away with it without being allowed to be. So therefore, they would accomplish that.
Right.
But that to possibly their own detriment in a large way.
Right.
It's really interesting what is happening here. That everything's contingent on how you play your character, in that mindset of the character for the situation that's relevant to the character in the moment.
Right.
He's got to play it. They're in a tough situation, so really the gameplay is centered. It pivots around expression of character.
Yep. Well, and we don't know all of Jose's character's motives. He may be thinking, this is a nice fortress, and at some point I could be its master. I could be the master of this fortress. So we don't know that Jose's character is not motivated to say, I'm not only going to embarrass this guy, I'm going to ingratiate myself with the men, and then when it's time to mutiny, I'm their leader. He becomes the new Von Mort. He becomes the new Vadamot Mort of this castle, right? So
very much possible.
You don't have to say out loud, "Hey, I want to become the leader of this castle." He's working toward those ends, right? And if Ivan is naive and hasn't decided the fate of Mort, hasn't decided the fate of this castle, hasn't decided the fate of this session, Jose, by the end of these chronicles, could be the leader of these men, and now is set up camp in this keep. And how he does it might lower the DV when he mutinies against Mort later, right, or something, right?
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Right. Like I was babbling a second ago about when I played Boethius. I still had an agenda of my own that was secreted away that y'all were unaware of, because I was putting a face on one side. So there's that multi-level. You just pointed out that's very important to acknowledge about characters. You can play to them a depth of realization, and this platform, this game allows you to do that.
And again, you're not in control of the story. You're in control of your character. You're in control of how you present your character. You're in control of how you act as your character. But it might lead to the things that you would desire to achieve in the chronicles or in the campaign. Again, these are meant to be characters that people would write chronicles about or campaigns about. It may be how he died at the hands of Von Mort, but it may also be that he becomes the master of this group and this keep, right?
Very well could be. The tension that's in this moment, though, what he's having to deal with is that's, I don't know, that's a lot to me why you play for these moments to say what will happen, what's going to happen. You cut it like a knife, and nobody should know.
That's right. Well, and Dark Age of Man is meant to be, again, a cinematic, comic book-esque. These are stories about your characters. They're not. It's not D&D where we're playing just to see. You are. We're flipping open this magazine, this comic book, Dark Age of Man, and we're reading about Wolfgar and Brother Dunstan, and we're reading about Jarek Smith. Their stories, right? They're not superheroes, but we're reading this comic about these heroes, right? And we're finding out, without them directing the story, they're playing the characters. But again, they are what they say they are, and if they play their characters, so if suddenly Jose said, "Hey, I'm going to start trying to use prestige," he would start failing miserably because he has like 1 prestige score. So he's got to play to what he says he is. I'm a great swordsman and warrior, and he clearly has a certain level of honor to some level here. At the way he's playing it, he's honorable. Because if not, he would just kill this guy and wrap this thing up. As you said, unless he's feeling the pressure that maybe the men would turn on him. We don't know how Jose feels, but all of these are valid observations. But this is a great example of him being able to the mechanics support what he says he's trying to be. And if he's taking actions and toward motivations and goals to achieve certain things, and if he uses those strengths, the game's going to support the narrative of his character, if that makes sense.
If you're a player that's allowed to play character to follow the world in the direction with agency in a path that they value to come to some resolution. And they are able to express their hopes, dreams, desires, motivations, experiences as that character inside this world. This way, when you play your character, you're more so invested in the player genuinely, and you won't break character so much to get away with something, or just for your own benefit. You're going to play to the integrity of that character that you're trying to.
Correct.
Because there's an investment there. You want to be true to that character,
and the system can support any kind of character you choose. You don't have to. Not everything's about combat, right? So you can be a successful character in these chronicles and be a man of God and use prayer and use talk and use psychology or whatever, right? So that's the key, right? It is definitely a character first, player driven game in that sense, right? So, all right, you ready?
I'm on 4726.
I'm on 20. You're on 2726.
4726. 47 minutes, 26 seconds.
Okay, I'm at 47:25 into it. I'm not certain what 27.
Well, I'm at 47 minutes, 26 seconds into it. So
okay, so I'm 1 second behind
right
you.
After you.
Okay.
Yeah, you click and I'll
okay.
click.
So 1, 2, 3.
I'm thinking.
Good.
All right. You embarrass him too much, and it may be worse.
Yeah. Right. See.
Great.
Remember,
so Jarek feels the pressure. You embarrass him too much, it may get worse. So you're right. There is a pressure here that they all feel.
Maybe Wolford can't hear it, but Jarek Smith can hear seeing as there's a couple of guards right near him because they know that Mort really wants him dead. Should Mort win? So they know they should stand next to you to be prepared to bring you to get hung upside down or whatever plan he has for you. You can hear him. Man, Northwich better be careful. In the meantime, Von Mort gets back up, and he is really pissed. And this time, he goes to retrieve his own sword.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he is fighting for the priest's life.
I'm gonna skewer you like a pig.
So I mean, he has to win this, or the priest. That's the deal.
Well.
Yeah.
Let's get it done then before it gets too hot up here.
That's so awesome.
Right.
I don't want to start sweating, Mort.
All right, this time it's only a 13.
Only a 13.
I'm going to try to wound his shoulder or arm.
Oh, I like it.
Although
at this point,
hey.
I'm gonna slink back into the crowd and over in the general direction of Brother Dunstan.
Just a face in the crowd.
Not right next to him.
He's taking off his cross, and hiding it.
Closer to him.
He's losing the robes. putting on a soldier helm.
You're able to move that much.
Pulling a Peter.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a couple shadows, and at this point, one of Von Mort's men is Von Mort's men is like, "My lord, stop this madness! Stop this madness!" And he Mort looks at him shut up. So he's just really lost it.
He's definitely.
This is gonna be fun.
This is where you could offer Von Mort.
Is he attacking again?
An olive branch, right? This is where you could say, call it over, and my priest gets his life, right?
Right.
Well, then probably be prudent for one of us to step in the way.
Let
me double check what my weapons are.
I mean, he wants the priest dead anyway, so he steps in the way. He's able to kill the priest.
What I'm going to try to do then is I'm going to try and grab him.
Okay.
Bear hug him out.
Okay.
Yeah, choke him out.
All right.
Make him pass out.
Jarek
Put him to sleep.
You're trying to get away.
Let him rest his
two men to help him. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get between that. I'm trying to run interference on them.
Right. Okay. So I need you to make the combat roll. See if you can do that.
Gotcha.
Because you spoke first.
Let's go.
Meantime, Brother Dunstan is trying to look very inconspicuous.
This dice is going into jail. It's a natural one.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
So he trips up
That's the one.
Wilfred,
This
right?
time
This would
you
be
get
getting in
hurt
Wilfred's
as
way,
two men,
right?
Flanking you or just grab you, and then they're
I
holding.
mean,
on to you
that's
for,
where he
like, dear
stumbles
life.
out and trips up Wilfred,
And you kind of get elbowed.
giving
and
Von
kicked
Mort
over.
an easy strike, right?
But they are the ones that grab me.
That's correct. They grabbed you.
Nice.
Wilfred of Northwich, you're trying to use Voodoo Von Mort as a shield.
Yes.
All right. So go ahead, roll a combat roll for me.
Dang, 2 ones.
Whoa. Okay.
What'd he say?
I tell you,
15.
These are Norse Foundry.
The dice.
Yes, Norse Foundry. So
Nice.
The number
What color?
black.
Oh, that's
gold
nice.
Letters. I just they kind of look like.
Oh, they kind of look like
Yeah, like
runes.
runes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's why I thought the 9. Without my glasses, I thought it was.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Right.
right.
Yeah, hard to see. Hard to see. That's awesome. Those are awesome.
Jim, Norse Foundry,
Yeah.
and they're kind of like they feel like they're made out of metal. So.
Uh-huh.
Norse Foundry. We'll keep that in mind.
This is not a paid ad, dear viewers. This is
Yes.
a recommendation.
Not a page.
But if
it's
they
an
want to
ad.
send us, something to
Anyway.
advertise.
I got them at Gen Con a couple of years back.
Nice. Nice.
So you've managed to grab Voodoo Von Mort at this point. Like he's still got his sword, but
Yeah.
you've got him in between the other two men that were about to attack you.
And I say, this was supposed to be a test of my skills. I do not want.
Oh,
I do not wish to hurt Lord Voldemort. Right? It's Voldemort, right?
Voodoo Von Mort.
Voodoo-bot.
Voldemort Mort.
Yeah,
I do
Voodoo-bot.
not wish to hurt Lord Mort. This has gone too far. Why kill me when you can have my sword on your side?
There you go.
Make a prestige roll.
He was fighting for the priest's life, though, isn't he? That was the deal? You beat me, the priest lives, right?
Well, I mean, he would have beat him. You don't necessarily have to terminate
Not
him.
good enough.
I figured.
not good enough.
Uh-oh.
And Mort says only 2 words. Kill him!
Okay, at this point,
And he just moved.
I thought he was going to say,
trying to
die,
get-
die.
get out of-
it feels like
Twice.
there's nothing.
One word
left to
twice.
lose.
One word
So
twice.
I will invoke the blackest of magic
Ooh,
as
shit.
I am looking at him, and I call.
Hell, that scared me.
Well,
Were they
but I
about
can
like a
see
corpse?
Mort. Like I'm
Yeah.
looking straight at him, and so I am cursing the hell out of him.
Oh, nice.
Espíritus del mal. Tengan esta alma, llévensela como su premio. And I'm trying to get evil spirits to kill him in a dramatic fashion
Oh,
where
shit.
he, maybe something is choking him out, or he looks like he's having a heart attack or
right,
something.
right.
So I want to kill this guy
He's pulling
using magic.
he's pulling a Darth Vader, choking him out.
That's easier said than done. Survey
Yeah.
says
3.
not happening.
Oh,
3.
Seven
man.
total.
He's got 7 total.
7
yeah.
total.
Survey says
okay.
the guard, the ignorant soldier standing close to Von Mort dies
All right.
of a heart attack. That's what.
Maybe it bounces back at me, man. Them's
Yeah, it bounces
What
back
a-
at him.
That's the wages of dabbling in black magic, right?
Uh-huh.
There's the wages of dabbling in black magic. However, that doesn't happen.
Right.
There is as you say the words. I mean, just like you can see that like various guys can hear you saying this.
Right.
It's
Okay.
it's violent, black magic. At that point, and all of a sudden, one of them is witch. There's a witch.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Okay. I lean into it then.
and more. Let's
do it again.
I lean into it. I like it. Yeah, I'm a witch. What of it?
it's clear you're doing something.
Now
to
I have nothing left to lose. So
Yeah, I'm a witch.
I'm going to try that
What of it?
again.
He needs some of those Norse Foundry
Not your
dice.
night.
He needs some of those Norseman Foundry,
Yep.
whatever they're called.
Yep.
So
So I just
Christmas
raise
list.
my hands, right? It's like, screw it. They're going to kill me anyway. So I raise my hands and I invoke harder, but it doesn't seem to be working.
He repeats the
No,
same
doesn't
failed
work.
spell,
And,
right?
as you're trying to choke more, it doesn't quite work. And actually, if anything, from all that, maybe some of it's spilling over on poor Wolford or whatever. But Mort is able to get out of Wolford's grasp and even stab Wolford with his little.
So Wolford suffered.
dagger.
He's
Wolford
fatigued
actually
now.
He's a little bit fatigued now.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve this.
I tried, man.
So
Okay, things are starting to look really ugly.
You know what? Screw it.
I was nice to
Get out of
the
here,
drunken
and I'm
fool,
gonna-
but ain't
I'm
no
gonna
more.
Slash. I'm gonna strike.
Kill him.
Kill.
Yeah.
You don't know what's good for ye.
Oops. Let's sit on the floor. Okay, that's a natural 12.
Woo! Oh.
Precisely. How does Vudamon Mort die?
Oh,
Hit his
nice.
skull to the teeth. I go. He stabs me. I go. Oh, die, you dog! You mad dog!
You
This
drunken
time, he
fool.
dies.
That's how to put a dog down.
I
Who
switched
dies
tactics.
next?
Right. I switched tactics.
That's
I
actually
switched
what say.
tactics.
I look at the guys that are circling. Who dies next?
I switched tactics and I switched from actual trying to kill somebody to illusion magic. And I call, magia de las hadas. Confundan mis enemigos. And so I try to summon
An army.
images like the dead guy that was attacking me last night.
Yeah.
Right.
I tried to summon an image of the thing that attacked me last night, and I
think Ivan just made an RSC roll, didn't he?
Well, I can give you a more
think so.
detailed description if I make it, I guess. But my intent is to scare the hell out of everybody
Right.
who is already not scared. So,
Okay.
so hopefully this is easier to perform than what I've been trying to do. But here goes.
Nice.
7 plus 4 is 11.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. So yeah, the men are like clearly advancing towards you, advancing towards Wolford, wanting to kill him. They're still holding on to poor Jarek Smith even tighter and tighter.
Uh-oh.
And then the illusions of these things are palpable. Everybody can see them, and it's very much these spectral wraiths,
Right. So I want the thing that
Mass
attacked me,
illusion,
his likeness, to stand over Mort and say, Voldemort Mort, you slew me in manner most foul, and I claim your soul, and all of that, and all the souls of those who remain in your service.
There you
And
go.
see,
Yeah.
maybe that
Awesome.
scares the hell out of
I
her.
actually stepped back too, still holding
Right.
my
Yeah. Where did he come from? Right. Where did he come from? That's awesome.
Yeah,
I will follow suit after, I've pulled out my axe at this point, and I will follow suit backing up from.
Right. These fellows have let you go.
Wow.
You can see they're all just kind of frozen at this point. You're not sure how long this is going to last. All I'm thinking of was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Right. Right.
Right.
those specters, you're like,
Right. So
they're not melting, but they're just all frozen with fear.
The melting comes with the next
We're
spell.
not stopping until we get to the nearest stable for horses.
right.
Yeah.
Nice.
With Mort's brain still on my sword.
Right. He's going to have to wipe it off before he sheathes
So
it.
you're
Jeez.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, great.
Running for the exits.
There's a moment where nobody follows you, and then like people are like coming to their senses, and they get them, kill them, and you're running to where there's horses. Like you said,
Yes.
it's easy to find the stables where they have their horses. So you're
Fastest horses.
jumping on and like riding through the gate, and it seems like men are about to chase you and about to stop you, and you can hear all of a sudden this cacophonous thunder. It's like thunder.
Oh.
There's not a cloud in the sky. But you look up, and just as you look up, there's this thing moving impossibly fast through the sky.
Uh-oh.
It's like just a like a ball of fire.
Uh-oh, meteor.
Like this, tail of fire and sparks behind it. It smashes right into one of Udamanmort's towers.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
Oh,
And
damn.
the men chasing you stop. Some of them fall on the ground, prostrate.
Oh,
Prostrate.
jeez.
Yes,
Prostrate.
because
prostrate,
otherwise it's very, very uncomfortable.
Dude, he had to correct you on that.
Okay, prostrate. You're prostrate. Hey, listen,
That was brutal.
prostrate. Yeah, you freaking play with doctors. You get this shit all the time. I just had a colonoscopy, man.
Prostate.
Prostrate.
They fall on a doctor's
freak the
finger?
hell out.
A prostate exam?
This fiery object from the sky smashes into the tower.
All of the soldiers are sitting on a doctor's finger.
Well, I guess we glance back as we're riding, as we're trying to ride away.
Not me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
My horse.
Yeah, it's not worth stopping. Really.
He's still riding
No,
bills.
you never look back, right? Heroes never look back as shit explodes behind them, right?
That's
You run.
awesome.
His sins are catching up with him.
Yep. His sins are catching up with him.
The devil has come to claim
I
him.
was just gonna say.
I may have
In
been-
all of that, I will have shouted, you shall pay for your sins. God has come for you.
Yeah, there you go.
I may have been right in doing that illusion, right?
Don't look back. They're turning into pillars of salt.
Yeah, and so maybe I'll call it here. See
As we're thundering down the road back
Yes.
to Bridgewater.
Back to Dredgewater. Awesome. That's awesome.
This is so freaking unexpected.
We did what we set out to do.
Yeah.
Yes, we succeed.
Yeah.
That's a total success.
That's awesome.
So let me tell you what actually happened roll wise. Last session, at the end of the session, I rolled an 18.
Oh,
That was a Vampire
Yeah, this
Awakens.
oh
My
wow.
God. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like one of the most unlikely things to possibly happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was going to go after you or go after like Mort's son. That was my other thing I was thinking might happen.
Yeah.
And so your luck roll went the wrong way.
Oh, interesting. It came on. So it came on
The
Eloy.
very next thing I rolled in the beginning was fire.
Yeah, I thought it was
Oh,
the thing.
yeah.
And
Oh, well, that worked out nicely.
And the fire, I thought
fortunately for
was
you,
when he
yes,
finally
Jim
brought up
was
fire. I
playing
thought,
the
oh
fire.
man, this
Yeah.
is like this is
if I
epic.
thought
This would
about
be
it, if
18 or
if
something.
I had my wits about me at
Yeah.
the time, I would have made it so like you guys couldn't, control the fire, and maybe the inn would have burned down. The Green Dragon, but because I misspoke and didn't realize that was the role, I just figured, well, the next building will catch on fire.
Right.
You know?
The vampire set it on fire as it bled.
Right. But next I rolled 11, an unexpected chance. I had no idea what
Oh,
the hell
that's
it was gonna
Mort. That's brilliant.
be,
Unexpected.
So
what?
I
Mort,
figured, you know
unexpected chance. Mort puts
I
himself in
wasn't
front
sure
of
how I
him.
was going to use that, but then I figured you're sitting there beating the hell out of this guy. I'm like,
Yeah,
what's going
it's
to be
beautiful.
a little bit. Maybe had a couple
Snoot
that
full?
morning because he's Woodamod Mort.
Yeah.
Right, unexpected
And he
chance.
said, you know
Mort puts
I can
himself
take
in
this guy.
front of a kill shot, an opportunity for them to get him soon.
It wasn't
That's
a guarantee
brilliant.
you could kill him, but it was his unexpected chance. Maybe you were going to be able to
Yeah.
do something like that, right there.
A chance
What
meeting
the
with
hell?
Mort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
have rolled a lot of other stuff. Next thing I rolled
That's
is Witch
awesome.
Hunt.
Witch hunt. Oh shit.
Oh, very appropriate.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so it was just, you just gave me a gift, and as soon as you did some kind of magic thing, I was
Yeah.
like,
But it was great because it's like, well, if they're hunting
Yeah.
me anyway, I might as well.
Yeah.
do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, that was easy
You know.
enough to use.
Yeah,
The
there's
very
some
last thing I
situations
roll,
you're not going to talk yourself out of.
Is a strange omen.
Oh, interesting.
You know,
That's
and
the
even I was like, I was thinking,
tower,
when I put that
the tower
down,
strike.
like, what the hell am I using as a strange omen, like meteor?
Yeah, meteor.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
It is.
Yeah, well,
it would
yeah.
be a
Like,
completely strange
Yeah,
omen
strange
to the
like
people
that,
in the
so,
Dark
you know.
Ages, right? What the hell was that?
Yeah.
It could have been, with current events and gone with an eclipse, but
Eclipse.
And
That's
they really
great.
don't
Yeah,
like
an eclipse
Terrence
would have been
at
very
all, man.
cool.
You know, these
Suddenly
guys
it's
just
dark,
piss off that,
you know?
Bring you to the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are really pissing me off. These
Yeah.
guys are, yeah.
Awesome. That was
That
awesome.
was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
This went completely different from anything I was expecting. That's great.
Oh, it went different
Yeah,
from
that
what I
was-
was expecting too.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to go much different.
And it should, because you shouldn't have a plan as the
Yeah, I
as
thought
the
we were
presenter.
gonna have a
It
lot
should
more
you should be
hunting to do.
naive, and you don't know what's
for
going to happen.
sure.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that the vampire was going to
This is-
wreak more havoc, than he did.
Hey, never underestimate a grown
That's a
man.
good thing. Lift
Yeah,
the
cleric, man, that was awesome. That's what
That
I
was
want
fun.
from cleric.
That was fun.
Yeah, you got the cleric, you got the chamber pot, you got
Yeah.
the fire. That could have gone really horribly. That could have been a TPK.
I was telling Ivan before we started recording that the principle behind the rolling of the table, right? This is system neutral, right? You
Yep.
can import
Oh,
this
yeah.
to
Yes.
anything because
I used it
what
with every
really
game we play
is
tested. I used these presenter
is an
concepts.
oracle, right? It's something to
Yep.
funnel your creativity. So
Yep.
you're not really rolling a random encounter, although you are.
You're
it's
rolling a
beyond
prompt.
that.
Yeah,
It's
you're
beyond
rolling a
that.
prompt.
You're
That's a
rolling
great.
prompt, right?
That is a
It could be a
That's it.
random encounter with a monster,
Yep.
but it's really integrate this monster into the narrative. And so,
Exactly.
it's wonderful how it dovetails with the priest
Yeah, it's
handing from
interesting
the
here.
tower, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had a moment where,
awareness.
wait, is this the Fae getting back at me for something? Maybe
Right. That's
it's
what I thought
See,
at
that's
first.
a Fae
I thought it was the
monster, right?
Fae
And when
come
Sid
to
was
come to
short,
collect.
I'm like, maybe
And his
some
character
sort of
probably would have too.
goblin.
Yeah, well, that's what he just
Yeah.
said. He just said he thought it was the
right,
Fae coming to
at
collect.
me
Yeah.
For reasons, maybe because
just for reasons.
of the murdered goblin, of the murdered elf
Yeah.
as a sacrifice
Could be.
for my spell,
Yeah.
right? So,
And they don't have to know it was a vampire.
weaves
Whatever Eloy
into
thinks, he's like,
the whole
he
thing.
keeps it to himself, but
And
he
I
think he's
Jose
thinking
thought it was maybe the priest that come up.
correct.
was
That's
risen.
genius, right?
And all of those
It's
things
a
can be true if
omen.
Ivan doesn't
And-
say
and,
it was a
uh,
vampire. They don't know it's a vampire
Which
until
one?
That's why
they
you
hunt it,
trust-
until they run into it a
Leads
second
into
time, right?
a
Then they might
narrative,
learn
so
that,
it-
right?
And our
So much
actions were
creativity
eerily
from the players.
cooperative
And this
with
is-
the role. That was-
This is
It was,
yeah.
it was really.
this was part of what I paused mine. Sorry, this was part of what I was saying about. So I mean, Ivan's Eloy's right. I play tested all these ideas using Mage, a Modern Age, and using when we did our 2061 games, IDW, the Conan games. I used this system. We just wrote an actual character creation game system and a world with, around it. But the presenter concepts where I play a naive narrator with a random tables that prompt, and I'm not in control of the narrative. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why it says flood. I don't know what you guys are really doing tonight.
Those dark places, you played it that
The
way,
dark-
and
and
nobody would
that's
have known any
my
difference.
point I was going to get to. I think the reality of for me, the innovation, the next step in role playing, for me, as a GM and as a designer, is to say, really as a GM for me, it's to elevate to another place, and that place ultimately is the players don't have to ever know the truth. It's all circumstantial, and what they pursue and the actions they take and what arises from that becomes the story they tell, not the story I intended you to get. So if they don't know, for instance, they don't know this is a vampire, and then later in the session, the vampire shows up again, and Ivan offers it to them that it's a dead body that's been drained of blood, and Eloy and everybody investigates, and they say, "Oh, this looks like the work of a vampire," right? And then later they decide they're going to hunt this vampire. This could be another, again, chronicles that go on for 2 or 3 sessions, and then they eventually catch up to it, and it's the creature that was in this session 3 sessions ago, and they go, "Oh shit, it wasn't a Fae thing that attacked me.
Exactly.
It wasn't the priest. shit, we met this vampire all the way back when we were fighting Mort, right?
Yeah.
And the GM doesn't plan it. It's just like this vampire is just a thing that's going to keep showing up when I roll my RSCs now. And here, the vampire is 18 or 12 or whatever. Well, he can put it on every RSC now at 10 because they haven't slayed it. So now this thing is not an extreme. It's there, and it's going to be all over the region.
It's in the world. It's already in
and it may come up a lot. Now, it could come up in dead bodies that are sucked of blood. It could come up literally attacking them. And so when they meet it again, they'll go, oh, shit, this is the vampire. So my point is, it's all circumstance. And the players are making sense of the circumstantial evidence they get. And it is the truth until it's resolved and we know the real truth. And the presenter, the GM, doesn't have to know any of that truth. The other night, in our Dragon Slayer game, when the slab came down and cut me and Grimwolf off from the skeletons, the trapped room, and my character, after it was all said and done, and my character had a chance to ponder it and said, this is the design of a madman. Somebody trapped this purposely to separate a group and to murder a group. I put the logic to that. Gillespie may or may not have cared. He just put the trap there. He didn't have to come up with, well, who would put the trap here and why would they do that? What would be their master plan? He just put a damn trap there to block us in and right? But my character is saying what evil entity was set out to do this. That could be true. There may be an evil entity in Barrel Maze somewhere that is protecting his assets.
Just put the framework and the players will flesh it out.
Yeah. Well, the players we're gonna believe in character what makes the most sense to us if you're in character, right?
Well, yeah, but
it doesn't have to be true. It never has to be the truth. Right.
You and I both, or at least, I know I was sitting there going like, oh, this is the resurrected faith thing. It's coming back to Eloy, and that's what he thought.
Yep.
And then he goes, Jose was like, does it look like he was hung? Because he's thinking it was the priest that happened to be rezzed up and attacked nearby, right?
Yep.
Came undone from his hinges. So all of this, whenever you yield to the players' imaginings and fears and realizations that they're having and fold them into the world, they can follow down these truths and see if they are truth, like you said.
And here's the thing. Yeah. Ivan knows that the truth is the vampire. So when they're speculating what it is, Ivan at least knows, one thing Ivan knows when he rolled it is it's a vampire. But that's all Ivan knows, and they can speculate all they want. And as they hunt it down, they may discover, okay, it wasn't what we thought it was, but still, it's a vampire, we need to vanquish it. So again, it doesn't matter. It only matters that if they hunt it down, they're going to deal with whatever it is, right? Or if they don't hunt it down, it's going to show up every session on that RSC at number 10, and it's going to pop up and be a very, very dangerous adversary to the community and to them if they don't deal with it, right? So again, I've said it before. What is it? There's nothing wrong with not knowing. There's nothing wrong with only having the truth that they understand and the truth that we've all agreed upon.
No, it's liberating.
We're in Mortville. We're in this tavern. We all agree on that? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. All right, what are you guys doing? And let me roll a die and see what's going on here. None of us know what's going to go on here. We just know we're in a tavern. We agree on its name. We agree we're sitting around having ale, and I roll the dice, right? And then I know that something's on the horizon or something's coming into the bar or whatever. And nothing stops endless gaming in character, character-driven. They can pursue their wants and desires, as the GM's going to have to deal with those by calling up attributes. Oh, you want to tell Lord Mont to take a hike? Make a prestige check. This is hard. This is at 11 because he's Von Mort, and this is his castle, and you beat him up, you've embarrassed him, and you're going to tell him to disarm and leave? Let's make a roll to see if he buys it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, circumstances are going to change. Are going to present themselves through play. This is where, whenever I first do the seeds list, I may have a situation in hand for what's going on in Dredgewater, wherever the starting position is, but it's so random and everywhere that whenever the stuff drops in front of the players, they can attach importance and value on what they want to follow.
Right.
And then from there, in the wake of that progression to find those truths, it's going to populate further seeds.
Yes.
Like you said with the vampires, and it's going to get more defined.
Yes.
It's going to follow what the players are after.
Right.
So initially setting down, that's why there's a danger of following quest type things.
Correct.
When you presuppose and pre-populate the initial seed list with like a determined path.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could do that kind of with the overall dilemma.
Well, yeah, and that's why I like
they're going to go where they want to anyway.
That's why I like a setup, because it's just where we're at, what time is it, and kind of what's the inciting incident can be something that's literally, and then the major and minor dilemma again they're supposed to be things that can affect the theme, the atmosphere, the overall, but none of them are meant to be quests. None of them are meant to be this is what you're going to do, right? Go kill Mort, right? That comes up through a conversation with Washburn that he would like that done. But you shouldn't have on it the characters need to go kill Mort. That's going to be the quest tonight. Right? It's going to be Washburn's going to call him to him and say, I want you to go kill Mort. No, that happens because they go talk to Mort about talk to Washburn about Mort.
They may have allegiances,
and it becomes a conversation that Eloy or Jose could impact by saying, we actually don't want to do that. Or, hey, wait a minute. We think Von Mort could be a great ally. Why don't we go try to persuade him to join?
Give him some secrets. Yeah. You can do whatever you want to. You do owe yourself fealty to this. That shouldn't be ever misconstrued.
Correct.
I mean, it may come up in.
There should be no quest night. There should be no quests. Just because there's a major and a minor dilemma, those are just things happening that are going to affect the world. The players may or may not engage in directly.
But that's what I mean. When you're playing this game and you have the agency to imagine and follow the truth as you see it and determine things, whether it's true or not, and gather more information and follow the course, then that's just going to make more engaged players. I mean, it works. It's a handshake. I mean, you're both, you never feel on rails. If it's done right.
Well, no, you shouldn't ever. And that's what I said. I've said it before. There is legitimate role reversal, supposed to be legitimate role reversal in Dark Age of Man. I am reacting to players, not they're reacting to me, right? Players are active. I'm passive. I'm reactive.
They're not wallflowers.
And I'm still rolling a thing and putting something in front of them, but then it's about them watching them tell me how they want to engage it or not engage it.
And you stand naive and don't even know what's going to happen. Let dice determine truths.
And I don't even decide how Washburn feels about Brian's character until we begin a conversation, and then there may be a luck check or a mind check or a spirit check or a prestige check or something that informs, based on the intent of Brian's conversation, that either makes Washburn side with Brian because he's successful at some roles, or makes him slowly twist the difficulty against Brian and what Brian wants, right? I don't decide Mort's motives. I mean, Washburn's motives. I don't decide who Washburn is. I mean, I already know he's the sober. He's Washburn the sober. We define him in the book.
Yeah.
But when it comes to dealing with Eloy's character, because something's happened and Eloy has to have audience with him and he's going to have this conversation, and there's a reason. So, and this is the other thing. If for the guys to say we want to go talk to Washburn about this, they have a goal. I don't have the goal, so I was like, okay, what do you want from Washburn? And Jose says, hey, this is the deal, man. We got trouble. This guy's a pain in the ass. Maybe we should deal with it. And then I go, oh, okay, let's make a luck check here to see if Washburn's in agreement with this, right? And then Washburn, he makes the luck check, and Washburn says, I agree. I think you're right. Matter of fact, here's what I want to do. We're going to craft a writ of arrest. And we're going to stamp it with my authority. Go arrest him, and you have the authority to kill him if he won't come, right? Because they decide they want to go talk to Washburn. Well, if they say they want to go talk to Washburn, they clearly have a thing they want approval of, or they clearly have a plan or a goal. Instead of me having the plan or the goal that I'm now going to entice them to pursue.
Yeah,
that is hard to explain. It's exactly.
Yeah, you can't contrive anything and then appease everybody at the table.
And I was thinking about this. One of the great things that I've had the luxury of really learning since finishing Dark Age of Man and getting it published and being able to just relax and enjoy Joth and enjoyed Dragon Slayer. I've had some real observations that I haven't shared in the channel. I haven't talked about.
Yeah.
But observation one, and it came to me with Dragon Slayer in particular, and then it came to me the other night with in the sandbox crawl with Todd, and that is something it's never crossed my mind, right, about what we're really doing in D&D, right? D&D it's a maze, it's a puzzle, it is a pre-existing thing, mousetrap, if you want to call it that. And the GM just represents all of those things as they occur. Oh, you're going into that room, here's this data, roll a Wandering Monster. You're going here, here's this data, roll this. Oh, you're going to check for traps? Okay, roll that.
And all mechanics.
For the first time, I've been doing this for 40 years, and for the first time it struck me, the real difference between traditional dungeon crawling and traditional D20 gaming is the GM is not actually telling a story. The GM is not delivering a story. A GM is just reflecting the thing that is in front of them. And it has never, ever, ever, ever dawned on me until recently as a player. As a player, because when I ran D&D, all those sessions, all those years, I presented a thing, but I also very often, I had a story that I wanted them to experience. I didn't even realize it. I had no idea that I was, even though I may have done it in a very abstract way, I always had a theme or an idea of what they were engaging in, instead of just being literally the referee of this puzzle, the referee of this mousetrap, the referee of this event.
So there's a similarity between...
And I'm not certain I would have got it. I'm not certain I would have got it without development of Dark Age of Man, the change in the GM situation for me. But I wouldn't have got it if I had not been playing so much. Because now as a player I realize, it's us against the maze. It's us against the barrow. It's not something else. It's not a grand story. The story, and I've always said this, the story comes out of action. We play to find out. The story comes out of what happens. But for the first time I realized that Gary Gygax was literally just representing whatever was in the dungeon. He was just being... Right? He wasn't being the omniscient wizard behind the curtain.
Like you said, that's why I said it wasn't role-playing, per se.
He was just presenting the things that they encounter. And it sounds ridiculous. I'm 54. I've been doing this a long time. I've been talking about it a long time. I've been reading. I've been playing. I've been GMing. I've designed my own game now. I completely GM differently now. I don't even want to GM D&D. I only want to really GM naive narrator-style games. Or at least I would use naive narrator even for D&D, which is what I was doing with Basic Fantasy and Sword and Wizardry White Box with my local group. I was basically just using random tables. So, if I hadn't been playing and I hadn't been in these last, and I would say with clarity, since the release of our game, I've just been relaxed and I've been enjoying it for what it is as a player. But experiencing it as a player has literally pulled a veil from my eyes about what I was supposed to really be as a GM in D&D, and it's only now really hitting me. It's only now am I understanding. Oh, I was supposed to have this thing for them to do, and just put it in front of them and let them pick right, left. It never dawned on me that way. I was doing it, but I didn't realize consciously that that's all I'm doing is presenting the mousetrap.
Yeah,
and maybe that sounds ridiculous, but I didn't. Maybe it's just that I'm
no. It's an awareness because I think it evolved to where you had to start having NPCs with personalities and politics and motivations, and then all of a sudden the GM started out of the dungeon had to represent worlds and everything on that scale. So then they had to start being those things, as well as just
and that's not to say that part of the mousetrap is the narrative introductions of why they're in Castlevania, why they're in Ravenloft, or whatever the country is that Ravenloft's in, right? The country that there is some epic bad guy with a kind of a story that's going to happen and their campaign elements are triggered, right? All the things which I have done, and I did a lot, and I did for 30 years as a GM. But I never really ran D&D as just the guy who presents the mousetrap. Even as a kid, I wasn't thinking that way. And not that I was doing it completely wrong, but it's an awareness that I didn't even realize what my job really was as DM of D&D.
Yeah, it's weird because when we would play in a dungeon, that was really the only thing that you could do as a DM was just respond and put before the players what they see and responding kind of mechanically to what happens whenever they, bump up against something. Without even really realizing it, whenever we got outside of that, the confines of the maze per se, and into the world, then it transitioned into something.
It became more interactive role playing with other because players said I want to do something other than just move 10 feet at a time in a dungeon. Then the GM
really didn't think about it.
There was when players decided tonight, I don't want to just this 10-foot in a pole thing I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it tonight or whatever. Then there became a necessity for GMs to come up with what else they can present to engage the players with different motivations, right? Different intentions for different players. And I think I was always trying to provide that. But the reality is I look back and I go, oh, I never removed my ego from I never recognized that this was about the dungeon. This was about Barrow Maze. This was about the thing in the book in front of me.
Yeah.
So in other words, it's not about me. I was just this referee presenting the thing. I never removed my own, I won't say ego, but I never removed my own perceptions of what I think this thing is while they were exploring it. Therefore, it was going to be somewhat painted with whatever made me feel like it was relevant. Instead of letting the players decide how relevant door 1 is versus door 2. I can't explain it. I wish I could because it has definitely been made. I have definitely had an awareness because I've had a chance to really engage and play. And Eloy and Todd doing it in such a masterful way. And I don't know if they feel this way or not, but how they have masterfully handled these, and Todd for years. But I wasn't seeing. I was not seeing how Todd was doing his job from that perspective. I was seeing he's doing it like I do it. He's doing it just like I do it. Oh, he's not doing anything. And then I realized, he might not be, but my perceptions changed, and I realize now, how Eloy is presenting this is and this comes because I've never used written material. Maybe this is why I never have used written material. I've either created my own, or I've literally used random tables most of my life, or I've made it up or whatever. I never used a written module, so I never realized that the module trumps me. It trumps what I'm interested in as a GM. It trumps my desires for the players, right?
Well, I think with your experience and your position on how to run stuff throughout the years, whether or not you didn't see fully,
right?
I think that the parallel between how we narratively handle Dark Age of Man, where the players are leading the show, which is similar to the way, especially you go through that mousetrap.
Right.
This eerily in a different way, but it's similar. You go, wow.
Yeah.
But see, without your experience, I don't think we would have gotten to the point.
Well, no, it's all about awareness.
To do it narratively.
Yeah, it's all about perspective or awareness. I could literally run, and I have, let's not kid ourselves, I've been a successful GM in D&D for 30 years, and I do it like Todd. I do it like Eloy. We actually have the same skills. We might choose slightly different rules. We might make separate adjudications a little differently. We might handle certain decisions differently. That's all fingerprint. That's that fingerprint I talk about. The difference that I'm talking about for me is I've had this. It's like saying, okay, two men can hunt. They're both great hunters. And one man hunts, right? And he's been hunting his whole life a particular way. Another man's been hunting. He's a great hunter, and he hunts a particular way his whole life. And then one day a hunter says, wow, do you realize we're we are stalking animals, and they cease to exist when we put a bullet in them. Has it ever dawned on you, Bill, that this animal is gone, dead, never will breathe, walk again? And that hunter says, no, never crossed my mind. I just hunt, man. We both have the same level of skills. We're both great hunters.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 40 years. But all of a sudden, one hunter sees what they're doing.
You see behind the curtain.
You ultimately go, wait a minute, my consciousness about it is different. But my skill set is I'm still capable of doing it just like Todd, just like Eloy, just like I always have. But now my consciousness about my job as GM for those games is changed. If I ran
more like an awareness going, why?
Yes, I'm now utterly aware. It's about the players. It's about the party and the players engaging the challenge of the maze. They are the ones that all I'm supposed to do is legitimately provide the trap, and I don't tell them it's there. They have to figure it out. And if they're, which again we all know, we all do, but now I'm aware of it. I'm actually aware that that's all my job is to present the barrel maze.
Yeah, but
I don't have to have any other. I don't have to have any other expectations or grand plans or schemes. I just have to trust that Greg Gillespie's work will do it for the players.
Well, see, the thing is, to me, what's great and fantastic about it is you can have on the basic just D&D level like that. Like if you're playing Barrel Maze or anything, and you say, "What is really amazing how the players lead and what they want to do," and then the GM is just reactive.
Yeah.
What I'm saying to you is your experience has actually bequeathed toward narrative play the same sensibilities to where the players lead, and then the GM is narrative is naive, just like the freaking maze controller is, and going, I don't know where they're going to go, but he may know what's in a certain room when he walks down and go, okay, this is a room.
That's right.
But it really, I think it was. I mean, I don't want to sound grandiose, but it's something to tackle a narrative way like that, which is very vague and abstract in how you would even conceptually put that. It's not just some kind of a mechanical thing, but not that we didn't make mechanics for it, but there's prompts that they're talking about. Like Jim just said, it's a prompt. Yes. And you follow what we were just talking about during these videos, during these videos. You follow where they want to go, what's important to them.
Right.
And you sit back in that same respect. So therefore, you're not having to handle things mechanically so much like in a maze and then go, how am I supposed to know everything that this world is supposed to be?
Right.
And represent it and read this box text that this one character says and know everything about all this. You let the die decide that.
That's right.
You let the players decide what's important. You have to string them along across a linear path, your story, to say whatever. That whole concept, I think, is severely limited and undermined ultimately what we're trying to do in Dark Age of Man, which is liberate people to play in a way to where the presenter is not weighed down with all this.
I mean, what it's done is it's
what is immediate.
Right. And there is no dungeon predefined in front of us. There's Dredgewater with some NPCs, and there's some things going on in the world, but there is no map for tonight. Okay, gentlemen. This is okay. You're standing at the entrance of the Barrow Maze. And they only have two choices: stand there with their mouths open and do nothing all night, or go into the Barrow Maze. Really. And if they go into the Barrow Maze, then it's my job to literally paint them the picture. You've moved 30 feet. There's a door on your right. 30 feet more, there's a door on the left. Right. That's what we've all done. I've done that my whole life. Whether I use my own dungeons or right, but feeling compelled in a way to get the players engaged to make that funner than it sounds. I realize it's not on me now. That's what they're here to do, and either they want to do it or they don't. But I spent most of my life as a GM trying to make that more interesting when I don't have to. And in Dark Age of Man, there is no map. There is no actual defined map that they're going to, right? And I don't mean literal map. I mean a map of what they're going to do or a map. I'm just going to roll a table as they. What's that?
You had to get to a breaking point.
Oh yeah,
a weight of having that responsibility on you, and I got to do something to shift this off.
Yeah.
And then what I'm saying is the methodology.
Yeah.
Of how you would approach something.
Yeah.
To be akin to what we see with the tools that you use instead of a dungeon, the mousetrap, as you say.
Yeah.
Are there? It's easy to sit there and say this is how it's represented, and to represent those not easy. What I'm trying to express is conceptually, we know that we have to lay down rules, and there has to be tables or there has to be die rolls to determine if they go through or if something strikes or if it doesn't strike. It's a simulation of sorts. How do you handle, or how would you even wrap your head around handling the greater world, politics, different characters? You go like, and it's been over the years following the same kind of approach to try to quantify and qualify.
Well, and that's
like that was in that mousetrap. They tried to take that whole thing and put it to where it fits over there.
Well, and that's why I've had trouble. That's why I've had trouble with the feeling that stuff's contrived, and I don't want to contrive a reason for Game of Thrones politics.
That's what it means.
The players need to pursue. We need to have these actual set pieces that have, and the players need to pursue their motivations that may create Game of Thrones-esque politics. I don't. I'm not going to contrive it. I'm not going to contrive it, and this is why Dungeon Crawl works, because there is no the contrivance is an actual maze of stuff. Right?
Yeah, and you don't feel contrived with the character.
But when somebody says, hey, let's play D&D on a Game of Thrones level, I say, yeah, but for that to happen, I'm going to have to contrive the necessary things to allow the players to engage. And I wish I could explain it. It is.
Yeah, no, you're going to feel contrived in a larger scale if you're using the same
Which is why I don't run mystery games, right? This is why when I ran those Dark Places, there was only one thing I wanted to do, and that was put you on the ship. Those Dark Places demands it, and give you circumstantial evidence that I did not care what it meant. I did not care what evidence you found and what you meant since you made of it. I only knew that. I
say it's liberating.
You guys made sense of it. There was no contrivance of what we were going to achieve.
It's liberating. It opens. Yeah. It gets the weight of that contrivance off the shoulders of trying to represent a grander world and grander scale.
Yeah,
that has been used, these bastardized that's taken from that mousetrap and tried to be applied on the greater whole of the world.
Correct.
And even narratively. Correct. And it all comes out as a contrivance. Right. What we've done is tried to eliminate that stuff, create a new way of approach to where to eliminate this stuff. And then you can go, wow, I don't have a contrivance now. And therefore, there's a parallel between me and that freaking that freedom I feel as a player while I was in the mousetrap.
That's right.
What happened to it? It disappeared whenever they went into, out of the dungeon.
And this is why I've never run Call of Cthulhu, but if I ever did, for any reason, I would not ever be compelled to contrive 4 sessions, 3 sessions, 8 sessions, 10, 13 camp, whatever, of some epic thing that's going to present itself over time as they pursued their characters in investigations. So I would run Call of Cthulhu,
you can do it the same way. Just like these guys are saying right now.
Exactly. Bingo.
It's just a prompt of this and that, and then the characters will follow their own.
Correct.
They don't have to be steered, quantum ogred, anything.
Exactly.
You just go where you want to go, and you follow the truth.
Right. And the dice will dictate certain, like I said, there's a challenge. So Jose, the challenge to beat Von Mort could have been a 15.
It's determined. Yeah,
it could have been a 15, and the challenge would have been greater. Would have been commiserate. It would have been equal to Jose's talent, or Von Mort's just a 9, and he's a drunken fool, and him waylaying Von Mort is perfectly fine game system wise.
Yeah. So
there is no contrivance as to some greater plan that Von Mort. I'm thinking about this happens. It's really obvious when you play video games. right? Video games, the typical Japanese setup in most of these Japanese RPGs or something. Early in the game, you're going to meet the real bad guy, and the real bad guy is going to beat the shit out of you and leave you for dead. And then you spend the whole game building up so you're able to encounter and defeat the bad guy at the end. You spend the whole goddamn game to come back around to the face up with the bad guy after he embarrasses you and destroys you early in the first right. And it's the same way, and I'm thinking that's kind of how I feel about most of those kind of things, these contrivances. We're gonna meet the bad guy, but you can't beat the bad guy in the first session. You're going to meet the bad guy, and you're going to find out, we got our work cut out for us. It all feels so contrived, and that's why I can't run. That's why I'm not comfortable not running open sandbox games. I like a sandbox. We roll and see what's in the hex. They engage it. We find out what happens, and then they move to the west, and we roll to see what's in this sandbox. And I much prefer open world sandbox / or dungeon crawling, right, where there's something there if I've pre-prepared it, right? Simba Room worked great. Right, but there was that final session I ran. I knew the earthworm was going to show up and devour the town. I didn't know how you guys were going to survive it. That we didn't know.
Hell, I didn't. No, I did.
There was going to be the right. So I felt like, well, this is what's happening. This is what's going to happen. I have no idea if you guys are going to survive it. We're going to play to find out, but. There was a contrivance to what I knew was going to happen in that session, as far as it was going to show up to eat the city.
Ivan kind of pinpointed something in one of his earlier videos,
and I felt horrible doing it because I don't do it anymore. So that session, as fun as it was, and as great as it was to kind of describe it, I felt like I was taking you guys on a roller coaster ride. Didn't know how your dice rolls were going to go, but I felt like I was driving everything, and I don't like to do it anymore. I have zero interest in it anymore, and it's
We see you're expressing burnout from doing the same old.
Well, I'm expressing the want to find out like everybody else. I'm expressing the want to experience the mystery as everyone else is. Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. That awe that I'm talking about of like, oh crap, and I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
And you feel like nothing's contrived because I didn't know that would put together. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, if I rolled 18,
when he said Earth Eater,
I mean, I could have rolled an 18 in Dark Age of Man, and Earth Eater shows up. Whoa, wow, okay, how do I present this? I got to show it off this Earth Eater.
But putting the things together, like Ivan said, he rolled that thing, murderer. He said Washburn had a murderer, but then what was going to do that in the Fae?
Yeah.
Oh, the Fae just killed that, and he would never have thought of it. And then he said, really, after a while, as a GM, we all have shared movie experiences and just shared human experiences where you can begin to just kind of repeat yourself and go and repeat. And that's what I try to, maybe misclassify as burnout. But, after you do it for so long, you're like, it's like when you watch a movie and it's just a fresh coat of paint on the same story, you know what I mean? Or a different story. And you go like, there's only so many stories that's been heard. So it's really a joy whenever you can go.
Well, and I think this is why I'm enjoying.
Oh, I didn't see this coming.
Right. Yeah. And I think, let's face it, when I first came back, 14 years ago, whenever I started, I was GMing the local sessions and I was doing recaps on my early channel. Then I started running games. And then I said, I'm thinking about retirement. I want to start playing, and because I'd never been a player, and I got involved with friends online and started playing in sessions as a player more often, and then eventually played a lot more, and then eventually went back to GMing more. And I was always GMing my local group, but I was finally getting out and playing in other people's games and sessions while still running my stuff here locally, my old school stuff. So my point is this. Part of why I'm enjoying playing so much in the D20s, number one, I love the D20. I love what we're doing. I can't, the reality is, it is exactly what I loved as a kid, except I get to enjoy it on that side of the table. And why am I loving it so much? Because I'm completely naive. I'm only a character. I don't know what the fuck's behind door number 1. Yeah. I don't have any fucking clue what Jose's going to do. I don't have any idea how Jorge's going to act. I have no idea what's down those stairs. And I am finding out that part of why I'm loving the naive narrator seat as a presenter in our game is because I'm naive. And
Yeah.
when I get to be a player in Todd's game, every moment it's fucking. I'm naive every moment.
Exactly.
The only time, the only thing I know is how I'm gonna, is what I'm gonna, I don't even know how I'm gonna react to some of it. Like the giant the other night. You know, you just react in character. But I have no idea how I'm going to, what action or how I'm going to devise, how I'm going to solve this riddle or this problem. And that's why I am completely, I'm at a level, I'm at another state as a second childhood. I said it in my recap. It's a second childhood for me. And why? Because I'm a player. I'm completely a player for the first time ever. And the guys will tell you, when I first started playing, and this, I'm dead serious. When I first started playing, I couldn't help but be a GM as a player. I couldn't help. We just naturally do it. We naturally scrutinize the games. We naturally kind of evaluate. Because I was a GM. I'd been a GM for 30 years. So I was scrutinizing and I was critical of GMing and I was scrutinizing GMing. Not because I thought they were bad but because I'd been a GM and I hadn't really realized what is being a player meant to be. I mean, outside of being a character, which I was always good at, I wasn't enjoying being a player, really. And now it's like all of that's gone, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I've had some change when it comes to how I GM and designing our own game and how I run those. I cannot wait to run Dark Age of Man Tuesday night. Cannot wait because I get to enjoy you guys. I get to see you guys do your thing, and I get to just roll dice and go, "Oh shit, how is this going to go?" It's liberating and it's joy. It's fun, and I'm getting that in Todd's game, and I'm getting that in Eloy's game. I get to just be a player. I get to just experience this craziness. I get to just experience it, and so maybe burnout, maybe 30 years of being the guy in that sense.
It becomes like a retread tire. Like I said, when you're watching a movie and you go, "Oh, I've seen this before." Mm-hmm. It's just this is going to happen. That's good. You know,
but I don't do that. But I don't do that as a player. I don't even care. I don't even care that. Oh, this.
No, I'm talking about from a GM trying to extrapolate and do this. Yeah. There can become repetitive aspect.
Well, right, inspiration. I'm no longer inspired.
The tanks
to be. I'm no longer inspired to be inspiring to run. Yes. So I don't have to inspire you guys in Dark Age of Man. I only have to present the world, and I only have to authentically present the world and authentically present the dilemmas. But I shouldn't have to inspire Saverick to take action. I shouldn't have to inspire Saverick to follow his motivations. Right?
Oh, I know. No, I'll do it. Yeah. You just trust me to pick up and run, and I'll go. And that you don't have to fill in those blanks for me.
And that doesn't.
In fact, that's what I say about agency, stepping on toes. Yeah. Because I'll do it.
Yeah. You know and it doesn't mean I don't care. Just the opposite. It means I want that. I want the players to have an experience that is, in a way, without my ego, without me being involved at all. I've almost become egoless. And I can't say that for 30 years as a GM I wasn't egoless. I think all GMs are control freaks and egomaniacs. Yeah. And no, I'm dead serious. And there's been this kind of I've just now suddenly realized I want to be. It's not what I'm about, right? And
people with center of attention or whatever, you know.
Or just be in control, however that is, right? But anyway,
we watched Matt Mercer lead, and it was just a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah.
And what happens now?
Yeah.
Well, you got this, or you could do that, or you could do this. Which one are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me more.
Sure. Right, and I'm enjoying the hell out of being naive as a GM, and I'm loving being naive as a player. I don't know what's in that thistle, and I don't know what's in that cabin, and I'm I can't wait to find out when I walk into that cabin that there's this shit and there's this, and it sounds ridiculous for somebody who's been playing for so long and been GMing for so long, but there's definitely a sense of in a way a rebirth, or at least I have a newfound gratitude and joy in playing that I had. Let's face it. I started doing Dark Age of Man because I was we started developing Dark Age of Man for a number of reasons, but my biggest reason was I didn't really care about playing anymore. I wasn't really playing. I was running a few sessions of our old D20. I was running a few things for you, and I might run a few things, but I really was, done.
You were looking for an answer to
Yeah.
the stalemate you found yourself in with GMing.
Yeah.
And you said, I got to make a winning move here. How do I get out of this blah and into a situation where I'm naive?
That's right.
And then
right.
we set about doing it. And I think we succeeded. I mean, nothing's perfect, obviously.
Oh, God,
something could be refined.
No.
But
anything that involves human beings can never be perfect. I don't give a fuck.
No, but like when we were there, we said no. He's like, we don't just need to make a game for what, but I think this needs to be out there in some capacity where people can wrap their heads around it and go, oh, maybe there is something to this, because it gives you a fresh breath. I mean, look at Ivan when he's running the thing and he goes, oh yeah, because
it's fun.
Connecting the dots.
It's
and
fun.
You go like, I didn't know this was going to happen. Roll this.
You're having fun. You're just having fun finding out. Again, I've always said, let's play to find out. We play, we make decisions, we encounter things, we roll dice, and then we find out. That's always been at the heart of why I GM and why I play. But there's been some kind of awareness for me of late, certainly about DMing and GMing old D20 and what my role really was that I didn't even realize that I was doing, but I wasn't. Like I said, 2 hunters have been hunting for 40 years, and then one hunter stops one day and says to Bill, "Do you realize that we've killed whatever, and that these things literally cease to exist?" And Bill's like, "Dude, what are you talking about? Fuck off, man. I'm just getting my meat for the winter, right?" It's just a different level of
Yeah.
And it's not a judgment. That's not a moral judgment. I'm just making a point that's like I've had this kind of light bulb went on, and I may have been doing it right my whole life, but it's like I've just now realized, I'm just supposed to present the maze. I'm just supposed to present the hex crawl. I don't have to actually entice you to get involved in it. Either you want to be here and play, or you don't. And so I would work so hard to make that. I would work so hard to entertain the players.
Yeah.
And
I know.
Yeah, and you're like, wait a minute, I shouldn't have to. I mean, Eloy's just doing a great job GMing. He's presenting Barrel Maze. We're all entertained, period. Eloy doesn't have to do something that entertains. He doesn't have to put on a show. He doesn't have to. And I'm like, holy shit, yeah. Not to say Eloy's not entertaining. That's not my point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
It's anyway. It's like the other night with Todd. Todd just does his thing, and he does it so effortlessly. I can't explain it. Both Eloy and Todd. Now, that doesn't mean Eloy ain't busting his ass and Todd ain't working hard behind the scenes, but they make it so effortless. And I'm completely engaged in character as a player, and I just can't wait to keep engaging the next thing and the player talk and the role play and the next thing and the next door. I didn't even care that we were having to go through door after door. That was incredibly fun, just having to get through those doors. It's like, I don't know why this is, I've probably got a brain tumor. That's probably what's going on here. I had an MRI scan for a brain tumor, so I know I don't have one. But it's that kind of thing where it's like this. I probably shouldn't be this euphoric. I shouldn't be having this much fun, right? But
you should. It's an epiphany. You had it's really a blessing to have that.
Sure, yeah.
You go, wow.
Yeah,
I can really enjoy this. I think you have to get it your own way, ultimately.
Oh, of course,
preconceived conceptions.
Sure, it's like coming to God, right? Okay. You have to come to God your own way. Yeah,
Yeah. You want to listen to the rest? Is 15.
Oh, I actually shut mine down. So.
You did?
Yeah. We're just talking, man. I'm just recording our conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, because the last bit, I think they're just going to go over their final.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fine.
I don't know how many. I think it was only 10 minutes left, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I thought, our talk was going. Our talk was going so long. I thought, I don't think. So no, at some point, we have left that conversation, and we're having our own, right? I realized when I shared my recent epiphany that this conversation had changed direction, right? No, that's awesome. They did a brilliant job, and I think they did enjoy it. I think they had great fun.
yeah, it's good to see people enjoying it, and
well, that's why you make it.
That's
That's why you write music. If your music can make anybody hum along or be entertained, if you write a movie or a book, or all you want to do is entertain, give people a pathway to joy or entertainment, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Dark Age of Man, bro.
But yeah, I'll probably have to get off it a little bit here.
Oh yeah, we can wrap up now if you want to. Yeah, I've said all I need to say.
No, it's good. It's a good talk with you and good watching this.
Oh yeah, brother, and, very good. And Tuesday night, right? We're gonna hit it, man. We're gonna hit it with Dark Age of Man, our baby.
Yeah, Tuesday night.
And I've invited Jose and Eloy. I don't know if they can make it, but I've invited them.
Yeah.
If they want to bring their characters into our campaign, they're free to do that.
Yeah, more than fine with me.
So,
yeah, that's good. I don't know how many we've run online. I do know that I ran 5 or 6 at the convention that time, so I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, again, won't be a thing for me at all to run 6 or 7 in our game. Not at all.
Yeah,
it's
quite natural
because I'm naive. You tell me. You tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, you're totally just in response mode.
I don't have to wrangle 7 people now and get them in order, right? I can just let them
sit
play.
Back and relax,
let them play.
And enjoy the ride.
It's like Monopoly. Imagine if you had to organize everybody in Monopoly. Right? No, you don't. Yeah. Every player rolls the dice and they have their turn. And that's why Monopoly works, because everybody takes their turn. And I'm not the one guy at the table who has to organize all the Monopoly players. Okay, now, and then you're wore the fuck out. It's like, I'm supposed to be enjoying Monopoly when I'm the guy running the game? No. If I want to enjoy Monopoly, I got to be a player. And everybody takes responsibility for their turn. They know the rules. They roll the dice. They take their turn. And we go around the table. And in a way, Dark Age of Man does that. I still have to be the eyes, the ears, the smell, the taste, and I have to be in a way, an arbiter of some things like difficulty value and whether it's fair to say, hey, this is really just not that easy for you to kill this vampire, Bill. Sorry, we have to roll some dice. Good luck. So you're still the referee. You're still the GM, but
you're still there to facilitate the world and the pushback. But the players push on it, and the world gives pushback. Mm-hmm. So it's, like I said, that handshake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a totally different engagement, and there's no massive amount of prep. There's no, Lord, I think Todd recently said, how many times he had prepped for a game, and then the players go off in a different direction that he didn't even.
It's always true. The game, your preparation never survives the players, ever. Yeah, never.
That's why we do
ever.
That's why we do it like we do.
Right. In Barrel Maze, it's prepped. We are engaging in that. If we're going right, well, there's only so many choices that are going to happen to us down that hall. Eloy doesn't have to worry about it. We went right, and we're headed down the hall. We're engaging the door. If we chose not to go into the Barrel Maze and wanted to go wander around, we would ask ourselves, why are we playing this? And none of us are saying we all want that experience. So that's why it's so beautiful, and that's why it's so flawless. Because we're doing the thing we all want to do, which is engage the Barrel Maze. Well, for whatever that's worth, that's why we're all doing it. Or at least we are. I don't know if you're engaged in it, but
Well, no, I am. I do know that Eloy is having to do the heavy lifting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's thankfully you have to have a competency,
yes,
at least a certain degree. Otherwise,
that's right.
But
that's both, and that's one reason it's so good. He and Todd are so good, right? It's like, okay, now I get it. Watching these two guys, Todd for years and Eloy in just a couple of sessions, you realize, oh yeah, dude, I didn't quite get it. I didn't quite get.
Yeah.
As that kind of GM, I didn't quite get it, right? And that doesn't mean I'm not a good GM. It doesn't mean I have not run games that people will never forget. But it wasn't without a lot of work, right?
Oh, I know.
To either engage people through narrative or engage people through excitement or speed or pacing, right? I would pace my games. Those Blood and Bone Banes, I purposely paced them so fast, right, to make them high adventure. And again, I don't just GM everything the same way. I GM genres differently. And so that's, I was tired, man. I'd finish those Blood and Bone games. I'd be fucking exhausted. It's like, geez, why am I doing this shit? I was enjoying it, but, and, and and then maybe what's happened too is I've also just come to a point where I realize, wait a minute, I'm working too hard. This is fun for everybody, no matter how hard. I don't have to work that hard for all these mature people to have a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I was assuming that I had to entertain everybody, and that's my own ego.
Yeah, and there's moments of magic, but we all realize that there's going to be moments of a lull in between it, which makes Eloy's character, Osric, standing up and saying, "Come at me," and then doing what he did. I was like,
he surviving is what makes that worth telling. Because when he did it, I thought, dude, I've died 26 times. You're dead, man. We're all dead. We're not going to survive this giant. And some fucking how, all the dice fell just right, and we did. And that's
I saw OAP. I was like, because I thought he was, I could just
splat.
I was like,
yeah. Okay. I mean, I was telling him, dude, my very first character in Joth, in 5 minutes, the spider fell on my head, and I was dead. Right? I mean, and he's facing off as a first level fighter against a giant. It's like, this is crazy.
I thought y'all may be able to annoy the giant and circle around him and kind of bleed off into the woods and escape off in random directions and then try to reconvene somewhere else.
And you could
he's not chasing me.
And we could have done that. Yeah.
I thought
that's what Todd said. He goes, I couldn't believe you guys didn't flee. And we're like, yeah, that is a good question. Why didn't we flee? I mean, my guy, I literally thought when I breathed in the spores, I was inevitably going to die from breathing in the spores. I just thought I was on a timer. So I thought when I felt the save, when I breathed in the spores and felt the save, I thought, he's probably rolled like D12, and that's how many turns I have till I die. Yeah, so I'm like, my character, I stumble out and go, well, hell, I'm not going to let this giant kill my partner, so I'm going to fight it. But the reality is, I might ultimately have said, run, damn it, run, and George and I would have hoofed it while Osric, fights the giant by himself, Then if
it would have been the same effect.
Yeah, because exactly, because I didn't do a damn
thing. Y'all would have thought he died, and later on found him in a tavern somewhere. He's like, y'all left me.
I mean, I can honestly say this has been the most fun I have had as a player ever in the last few months. I have just never had this much fun. In the last year, I would say the last year, I've never had this much fun. Yeah, and that includes our Dark Age of Man. No, but that includes our Dark Age of Man sessions. I mean, dude, I'm loving the Dark Age of Heroes. I love playing the superhero stuff. I mean, I'm just loving playing. I mean, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving it. So, yeah. I mean, again, I've retired more than once as a GM. I won't retire again because I do enjoy GMing. But boy, I've had so much fun as a player. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I think GMing essentially Dark Age of Man it's liberating for the players, but it's also in the same effect liberating for
it is for
GM.
me. Oh yeah, I mean I definitely want to do sci-fi because I cannot imagine the direction sci-fi can take with naive narrator. I imagine it could be amazing, and so I can't wait. We got to get started on that and find out through playtesting how sweet.
Bro, I've been reading all these books. I mean, about like 10 of them down, and I know. I mean, it's for. Anyway. Mm-hmm. Now I want to set it. That's why I got this. The High Frontier, which is a classic work.
Yeah,
introduction by Freeman Dyson.
Yep.
I mean, you're looking at this will set it back to the old school style.
Yeah, yeah.
But all of this right here will give impetus to create what you could potentially reach out and touch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And these foreign concepts and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Yeah, so I can imagine how much fun we can have with sci-fi. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. And again, liberating because our RSC charts can be that much more dynamic because we're not just dealing with fantasy Dark Ages. I mean, there can be all kinds of crazy shit on that RSC for science fiction.
Oh yeah, we watched. That's what I got to go in there and watch the next episode, Constellation with Her, which is a magnificent film.
Oh,
all the Foundation, all the Halo. This is stuff I'm watching aside from reading all this stuff.
Okay.
Discovery, it's excellent show. Whether or not you're old school Star Trek fan or not, it's a strong show. I think we're third or fourth season into that.
Wow.
So we've been and The Expanse. Because I like that shows solid sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, solid sci-fi.
Wow. And I have not seen any of those. Not one thing you just said have I ever seen.
Yeah.
Original Star Trek, yes.
Yeah.
I have not seen Discovery. I have not seen Constellation. I have not seen. I have not seen anything you just said.
A lot of. That's the only thing that's problematic. Basically, when you don't have the ready-made fantasy bestiary and tales to pull from, so you've got to create something. And I don't want to just create anything because I don't want to suspend my belief. But so far, because it's already ludicrously suspended anyway.
Correct.
Even saying you're out there.
Correct.
But
the great thing about Dark Age of Man fantasy is we don't have to suspend our disbelief to understand the Dark Ages, Vikings, peasants, lords, right?
Yeah,
we might have, and even
easy,
dragons.
correct.
We've all read books or seen TV shows or whatever about dragons and vampires and skeletons, and so the suspension of disbelief in fantasy is just not as big a jump, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So I have to. I will get bored of it if it's not some kind of realizable foundation.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, everything that I'm watching and intaking it's been like I think I've like 4 or 5 great courses.
Mm-hmm.
I've read 4 or 5 Michio Kaku books.
Mm-hmm.
Another was sitting right over there that I've had forever, which is Charles Sheffield book.
You've read just enough now to not want to waste your time making a role-playing game. I get it.
No, actually, it's weird because I like things to percolate in the back of my mind. It's like how would be best represented mechanically wise, or what needs to be focused on while you're out in space.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Space is a dangerous.
And that's where those abstract concepts that become game devices or game mechanics, that's where the joy comes in for me, right? I mean, there's ideas, but then there's an abstraction of how we mechanize that, which is what has always fascinated me.
Well, the thing is, if we keep it in line with Dark Age of Man system-wise.
Oh, yeah, that's easy.
It could be easy to default into a resource management thing with space, Traveler. We got to get, but see, that's not what it's all about. Because if you're going to have, at least to some degree, you're going to be able to collect and harvest what you need fuel-wise, which won't be rocket propulsion.
Right.
Whether you're using solar cells or whether you're using fusion engine or ion pulse rockets or whatever like that, this stuff can be, this energy can be amassed or harvested basically while you're in space and travel. So it's not necessarily that you got to pay to buy this.
Yeah,
you're only worried about random seeds that may pop up that something just broke.
Correct.
Something just went down.
Correct.
You got to worry about maintaining the hole if something goes. You know what I mean?
Yes, God, yes.
Down
and I'm in complete agreement. I don't want it to be about harvesting fuel but you want a seed to be something like an engine down, and now we have no choice. We gotta fix an engine, so that becomes our
that's
our challenge.
Legitimately, it's not about rocket propelled liquid fuel to do this.
Right. Just like Dark Age of Man isn't about coins. It isn't about treasure. If somebody asked me today, what is Dark Age of Man, the role-playing game, about? I would say it's about being a character.
Yeah.
It's about being a character in this setting,
handling
in this place called Dredgewater, England, whatever. And it's about being a character that you would envision from your favorite comic books, your favorite TV show, your favorite literature, and be that character. And the world will happen as you do your thing, and it'll push back on you, as you like to say. So if somebody says, "What is Dark Age of Man?" outside of the setting and the genre, it's what is it about being a character in the Dark Ages? That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Whether you're a merchant or a lord or a peasant or a witch or a druid or a farmer or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
it's
will Space Age of Man be about being a character in space?
Well, yeah,
Right.
but it's going to have. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm reading all this stuff about because I'm going to know about what crisis can potentially affect you. You are out in a vacuum with a lot of rocks. I'm just saying. And the thing is, if I don't want to go
at absolute zero,
if I don't want to go space opera, with all kind of weird and wacky aliens, and I'm not going down that, I got to research what things could legitimately cause harm.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And what legitimately would these characters be doing outside of just a job? So again, right. That's the other thing. The Dark Ages, a peasant can have adventures as well as a lord can have his life. Right, a peasant can end up on adventures. Even if you make a peasant, you can end up on adventures as a lowly peasant. Right, but in space. What is it we're doing? Why were we there and what are we doing? Before we encounter obstacles, who are we and what are we doing out there and why are we doing it? And these are things, because the obstacles become pointless if we have no reason, if we don't know why we're pursuing what we're pursuing. Motivations, right? Goals. Yeah. So that's the other catch. Will Space Age of Man have goals? Will it have things? Well, that's something we'll have to hash out later, but because if not, when we say in Dark Age of Man, make the character you want to play, and who you say you are matters, and you can make a peasant, you can make a priest, you can whatever. They will be able to play in the sessions and have experiences, whether they're a lowly peasant or they make themselves as Jose made himself a fantastic swordsman from the north.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have, you have to read things like there could be pirates, other ships, vessels, possibly that want to board or want to harm or whatever. There can be, you might say, because we have situations where you have disease or pestilence or something like that. This could be some kind of anomaly or some kind of virus or some kind of thing that you could be infected by.
Right.
I mean, there could be a multitude of things that we could implement that has a little bit of validity to it as far as plausibility, at least, that you can kind of run off of and face up against.
Right.
Not only the mention, like I said, those rocks creating impact problems, you know what I mean, or whatnot. There can be situations like that. There can also be places, abandoned stations, or either active stations, or there's going to be different types of robots. There's going to be different types of altered, like the bestiary, and altered alien races, but they're actually been preceded, seeded by what came out. Like genetically, you can have DNA sent to certain, vats basically, situated in systems that's going to create creatures that might be more suitable to certain environs out there. Right. So you can also have suits that's going to be able to withstand certain environments.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is a lot of this stuff is plausible, but I'm wanting to pull as far as technology wise and what is coming down the pipe from all these books that I've read and everything that we could fit into the game that's going to allow for workable interaction between the players and the world.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Because it can't be just a blank slate out there.
No, God, no. But that's why Dark Age of Man that's why we have to define the island we're on. We have to define the world setting to some degree, and we have to define the spaces. Because players, a tabula rasa leads to, white space leads to what? It leads to writer's block. Well, guess what? White space in gaming leads to player's block. You have to give the players something to engage. Okay, it's a barrel maze. What you're doing you may not like doing. Moving through a cavern and checking doors and fighting skeletons, that's a different problem. But But every game, you can't give the players tabula rasa because then they're going to have paralysis analysis. What are we doing? Why are we doing? Which is why, if I don't define in Dark Age of Man everything around the start of the game like I do in the book, and I also define a little bit with maybe the setup or the inciting incident, then I say to Savrik, where are you? What are you doing? Well, you get to define your space, but you've gotten some boundaries, so Savrik isn't in a void. You're not defining a void. You're defining Savrik in this space at this time.
Yeah.
That allows you to, that inspires you, and it gives you boundaries you need to paint. Again, if I don't have boundaries, I can't make music if I don't know the chords, if I don't know the notes. Give me the notes and the chords, and I can make infinite music. But I got to have notes and chords. And our space game is going to have notes and chords, so we can make infinite music to some degree, right?
Yeah. And I mean, ironically, if you're on a ship and you're out there in a tin can, you've got to have some way of manufacturing food. Yeah. So somebody's got to be over organic, and then somebody's over probably inorganic. But there's crossover points to where you can have a doctor be represented. You know what I mean? So ironically, it goes back to the old Star Trek thing. You're going to have somebody to facilitate engineering and mechanics and structures of ship to keep it working. So
and
basically, they're going to be.
I think we should.
But they're interfacing with the elements of physics by machinery is going to utilize that. Correct. And then you got the other guys that's going to be able to manipulate the elements
and
themselves.
I think that's something we have to do. Yeah, because to survive in space requires specialty. It requires specialists to do specialized things, or you wouldn't survive long.
Oh, yeah. That's why the attributes needs to be specialization.
Right.
You know what I mean? It needs to be that. Yeah. So whenever you're approaching it, whether you have a doctor and then the attributes are broken down into what types, or whether it's just, you know what I mean, as far as what types.
Yeah, I mean, I believe we should have a set number of professions, and all the attributes for every profession are unique. So instead of skills for the doctor, if you pick doctor, those attributes are tied to the doctor.
Yeah.
Instead of skills.
Because their job is going to be utmost paramount to keep that ship running. Yeah. Somebody's got to reconstitute this, the
human waste into edible food.
Yeah.
You're going to turn your fecal matter into edible food again, right?
Yeah, you got to have.
You're going to be eating recycled shit.
Yeah, it's like Soil It Green. You know what I mean? That's the name of the ship. But anyway, no. But you have to. It won't be. Of course, the players can get as deep as they want to as far as descriptive wise. But you got to have somebody that handles biology.
Correct.
And so the doctor could overlap some.
Correct.
You got to be a multifaceted.
Right.
Yeah, because if you have a
just like D&D, you got to have a cleric if you want to turn undead and heal. You got to have a magic user if you want to create illusion. You got to have a fighter if you want to kill bugs. You got to have a thief if you want to pick locks. I mean, there's nothing wrong with specialization, class, profession, etc. Right? Yeah. So in that sense, that's a no-brainer, especially for science fiction, in my opinion.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So that's the way I was thinking along the same lines too. There's the specialization lists out, and then whatever you're stronger at, and just play your character. But it kind of the engineering type, and then you got to have somebody who's over the social aspects of it. Sure. Whether they're commander, they handle security. Everybody's going to be a certain amount of competent in as taking care of themselves. I suppose some degree, but. It's just that to me, some kind of scientist primarily, engineer, medical doctor.
Got to have your Deanna Troy that says when. Hold on, which I absolutely dislike because she would always tell you the obvious. Oh, I think they're mad. No shit, I can see they're mad. I don't need special powers to see that guy's mad.
Yeah.
Oh, they're hiding something. No shit, I can see they're hiding something. Her character would always say something like it was a special power, and I'd be like, "Dude, I'm watching the show, and I can see that."
Yeah, that can be a counselor.
Next Generation is not my favorite show. It's just not.
No, we just need to boil it down to primary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
I'll let you go.
I should let you go, my friend. Yeah. So Tuesday night for sure.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
All right, brother.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.